Hello, everybody, and welcome. We're D&D Boyband, a group of friends that all like D&D Pretty Boys. Apparently, it's not fantasy unless everybody's hot. Very true. This is the original D&D campaign set in the critical role world of Exandria. I've got good at that's a slight tongue twister. Taking place about 10, 11 years now after the events of CR1. We are far behind CR2 and 3. Now I think when we started this, CR3 was just beginning. And obviously, those of you who've been enjoying Calamity, we are years ahead of that. I'm Dungeon Master Jamie, and joining me tonight are the Spice Boys. First of all, let me introduce Clued as Barnes.
Hello.
Eski as Zug. Eski as Zug.
Yeah, hello.
Hello.
That's fine.
Sorry, you weren't up on my camera for some reason. I didn't see your reaction. That's my
We've
bad.
lost him. He's dead.
We lost him,
Sai-
boys.
Sai as Aku. Luke as Ascor.
Yes, that's me.
And finally, Aaron as Hayden.
Hello, it's me.
So,
Here.
before we begin, do we have any announcements?
Well, I kind of blew all over announcements last week, and in hindsight, I really should have saved some. But today
That's
is
fine.
our
That means we can just get into D&D.
today's our 1 year streaming anniversary. Yay! We've been doing this since June 22nd, 2021. So it's been a full year almost. Tomorrow's the full year. And yeah, very exciting stuff. I'm happy to have been playing D&D with y'all all this time, and nice that we're getting to share it with people on Twitch. So everyone who's been watching on Twitch and VODs on YouTube, etc. Been a pleasure getting to see this little community grow and meet people that, like, at first we thought, like, oh, we'll just stream this to, like, a couple of our friends that, like, we talk to about D&D, and maybe they'll tune in once in a while, but we didn't think that we'd actually, like, meet people that, like, none of us knew who then, like, tune in to watch, which is, like, crazy and really nice. So, I'm really glad that we've met a bunch of cool people through this. That's all I have to say about it. 1
We
year
hit
of...
level 15, so we're very
Oh,
excited.
That's true. We're level
Yes.
15
Commemorating
now.
our streaming anniversary with 6 spells.
Yes.
We're
That is
officially legal in some countries.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
ruffle trip was
And this is how the stream ended.
I never thought
But
it'd be
not this
Sai ending our stream.
thankfully.
Not like this.
So, last week, causing the group to level up, you guys discussed your plan for the heist, went out to collect information as well as go to different parts of the city. However, Aku was momentarily taken over by the hag, who used the full breadth of Aku's skills to escape you all, and you decided, deal with that problem later. Right now, we've got a heist to plan. You ran on the word roll to duel, summoning Lorien, who arrived late, and you guys managed, with the assistance of some theatrics, to return the I do need to switch my mic. Yes, we returned the theatrics to distract everybody on top long enough for you to return the documents and steal whatever was beneath Sulfrena's desk, or Novandra's desk, really, which turned out to be, upon querying, the soul inside a soul cage of Hannah Wasserman. However, Aku, in the middle of the woods, possessed by the hag, was approached by a familiar-ish figure and face, that of Silas Briarwood, who the group had previously promised that if they ever were in possession of a magical artifact powerful enough to aid him in bringing someone back from the dead, they would get in contact. The group have been in possession of such items, although Aku was not aware of it, which was my mistake last session, which we will slightly be retconning at the beginning of this. However, to kick you guys off, I believe you were taking your ill-gotten gains, but gains nonetheless, and also not exactly stealing legal contraband. You're taking them back to Lorien's house, I believe, or the brothel. Which one? I can't quite remember.
Is there a difference?
I don't know if we're discussed or agreed.
In which case you've all arrived. I will say you're walking away from the docks, Lorien in tow, all of you having just got Hannah Wasserman's soul, kind of looking over your shoulder ever so often, making sure you aren't being followed. You aren't for the most part. Those of you kind of higher passive perception, it's dark as well. You seem to have, at least for now, achieved 2 major objectives in Imon. One, Ascor has killed and replaced his doppelganger, which hasn't raised alarms yet. Although, however, the longer Ascor is, of course, missing from his household and the campaign, a lot of questions will be raised. And you have successfully heisted and found the soul of Hannah Wasserman, potentially placing you in a position of leverage over Silfrana and Novendra, or with evidence of their misdoing should you choose to use it. Flushed with success and a little...
There was one other important thing, right?
Yeah.
We saw some. Okay, so this is metagaming, but just so the party knows, we saw somebody that kind of looks like Cecil on the boat, right? Potentially, there was a hooded figure. He wasn't confirmed, but was like glasses wearing, green-eyed, same description as.
Yes, it matched the description of the
yeah.
man you heard earlier.
Yeah. Okay. So that's potentially big because they are in league after all. My tinfoil hat crinkles further.
Many brain crinkles. So yeah, flushed with success. The boy band, the nice boys, with Lorian in tow, making their way through town, presumably about to discuss the night's events, what you want to do, where you want to go, what you found, what it all means, and ultimately where the hell is Aku. Throw back to you.
Are we level 15 now, or do we need to long rest first?
You're level 15 now, but you don't gain back any of the things you lost, like spell slots or anything.
Okay,
I don't know
so
if your sheets have reached that. Please try to remember. But unless you guys do something truly awful, there might not be a combat between now and thing. Although Spice Daddy is there.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, cool. I'm just gonna try to fix my camera. I know it's doing weird stuff, so I've still got my headphones on and can still talk. So D&D Boyband, I will throw it to you walking down the street, making my way.
Probably riding the waves of success. Barnes is just sort of giggling to himself and just nudging the guys like, that was probably the funniest thing I have ever done. Zug, you were amazing. That was so good.
Yeah, totally intentional, 100%.
That was brilliant. The way you screamed when he threw you up in the air and you sort of did like 2 somersaults on the way down onto the sea.
Yes. By the way, it's quite hard to swim in full armor. Found that out today. Wouldn't recommend it.
You're fine. No harm done. No harm, no foul.
No, I'm fine. I'm all right. I didn't die.
Stealth
been worse.
contingent. I think I saw something pretty interesting happen in that room. Am I to believe you guys succeeded immensely?
I'll be honest, I don't think I contributed all that much. But I was there.
You turned into a creepy fish man and squeezed through a window. That was pretty cool.
It has its uses, but frankly, I don't enjoy it. Not one bit at all.
What does it feel like when you're like squeezing into a 1-inch gap?
Honestly, really natural. You know? Just not like it was meant to be or anything like that, but it just works. You can flex. It's really comfortable. Sitting down feels great.
At what point do you feel like you have bones? Like, do they sort of cease to be when you're doing your squeezy thing? Like, do you feel different?
Not at all. They're, in fact, more like fish bones. Or perhaps somehow more flexible than that.
Your brain went into a hole that was like that big. Your entire skull. It was crazy.
Yeah, I suppose somebody's gonna make a joke about that, right? Anybody?
No.
It was honestly the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my entire life, and I really hope I can wipe my memory of the sight of you turning into gelatin and going through that
You
porthole.
turned into a fish?
It was
What did I miss?
it was disgusting.
Like, you got some things to catch up on. Hayden, that counter spell. Oh my goodness,
What?
I'm going to start calling you Archmage.
No. It's just something that Roman taught me. It's just a thing.
It's awesome.
I'm not very. Thanks.
That's a force cage. That's quite high level magic. You're
Is it?
better than that. Yeah, it's like super powerful.
Oh, I didn't know what it was. I was just like, I just saw Asker starting to get trapped in something, and I was like, let's give this a try. I'd never actually used it before, so.
My lecturers used to capture students in it that weren't paying attention. Slam
Really?
a force cage on them. Yeah.
Well, I guess it can't be that dangerous then.
No, but you are stuck in there for a long time.
Yeah, that would suck.
I missed a party or two because I was stuck in one.
Well, good news. We found Hannah. Actually, maybe we shouldn't talk about this here. We need to go.
You did what?
Well,
In a little cage? Was she in a cage?
Come on, don't talk
sick.
about it.
What are we talking about?
All right,
I don't
all right.
We need to
understand.
go
That's
somewhere
all.
private. And also, we
Who's
need to
Hannah?
find Aku.
Zug, if we talk about it, it defeats the
God.
point of not
Zug.
talking about it.
My nan, Hannah, you know,
Yeah,
found you.
Barnes' missing grandmother, Nana.
gone for ages.
Nana.
Oh, I'm really
Nunu.
sorry about that. I'm glad you found her. Is she alright?
She's great.
Oh, she-
It sounds like Hayden.
Yeah,
How old is
she's
she?
yeah.
If you're like, hundreds
she's
of years old,
she's
she
on
must
a
be.
Zimmer frame, and yeah, she's doing good.
Wow.
Can we go somewhere that's not the
Incredible.
middle of the
Fantastic
street?
genes.
Maybe.
He's a revenant as well. To be honest, she's a real bitch Zug, but I do need to find her. So.
Oh,
Don't
okay.
speak
Well,
about your nana like
scrubby.
that.
Take her to
Things
an
I
inn
could tell
or
you about my
something.
grandmother, honestly. Larian, we're hijacking your shop again. Is that all right?
The pleasure is all mine.
Great.
All right. Get back. Should we look for Aku though?
Oh, there is that. Well, here's the thing. I actually have no possible way of locating him.
Neither do I.
Oh yeah, Rasha used to do the whole looking for people thing. Maybe we
Like-
can find Rasha and he can find him.
I have a few special talents. I can locate person.
Oh,
Oh,
of course you can.
you.
Of course. Where were you
Why
earlier?
would you say it like that, Lauren? Why would you say it like that?
Say like what?
Say it
Yeah,
again.
so look,
Locate person.
No, say the whole thing. Say it again.
I have a few special talents.
Sure, go on.
I'm not sure I see the point of this.
I don't know. You just said I have a few special talents. I can locate person like you're a caveman. Just locate a person.
I'm sorry, the finer points of grammar escaped your notice.
He's using
Not at
the
all.
ancient
You're
age of
exceptionally eloquent. I'm just surprised.
using the Age of Arcanum terminology for spells. I suppose I've not been passed on, but it doesn't have an A in it.
No,
All
don't
very ancient
don't mock
words.
him. That's unfair. All I was pointing out was the fact that, well, he just spoke in a way that wasn't particularly like how he normally speaks.
But you're so glad to see us again, Lorian.
As I said, pleasure is all mine. It's Aku you're looking for, right?
Yeah.
It is, yes.
Sure. And you see him take out a bit of kind of brush it into the air, and it kind of flips up and begins to almost like all the kind of individual strands kind of like point all in one direction, and you can see it's pointing towards the east side of the city. Lawrence says, "Well, he's mighty close, 1,000 feet at least that way."
Only 1,000 feet. That's good.
We go get him?
I think we should, but okay, Hayden, do you have my caged grandmother somewhere safe?
Yeah, she's in.
Because we definitely
Why is
should
your
not
grandmother
lose.
in a cage?
She's a
She-
pixie. She's really
she-
small.
Revenant Pixie? She should be
Yeah.
there, 100%. You don't want to let her out with bedlam.
Yeah, I've got her. Don't worry. Good.
I'm not
Sounds
sure you
like-
should be keeping your grandmother in a cage.
So
Listen, it's
don't worry
better for
about
the
it.
world. You don't
I
want to
am
let an
worrying about it.
Aeorian old woman out of a cage. You just keep them in there. Aeorians are terrible, terrible people. Just keep them locked up.
It's like an Age of Arcanum nursing home.
Right,
They're
You
all locked
folk
up and
get-
safe.
right. They get too old, you just slap them in a little soul cage because they're, yeah.
Should we go?
Let's do that. And Buzz kind of mutters, "Damn, I wish I actually did do that, come to think of it."
Okay, so as you guys are moving across, we will switch back to Veronica, Aku, trapped inside his mind, and Silas Briarwood. The twilight lit a clearing in the forest. This hag has taken your body, and as you see the figure of Silas Briarwood looking a little disheveled. Yes, I should be using the right mic. Sorry. Does it sound okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Looking a little disheveled. Couple of scars up his arm. Clothes have seemingly got a few cuts on them, scrapes. Has either been trekking through the woods, unlikely, or has recently been in a fight. See the
That's
kind
my
of
boy.
cat-like eyes shift over to you. Ah, Veronica, I presume. An interesting visage you've taken. And Aku, you hear back in your voice, but very much not your words. It's been some time, Cyrus. I'm glad I was able to find some way of keeping our twice a month now meetings. Kind of sighs and says, "Yes, must be awful contained where you are. Anyway, pleasantries aside, I've come back because, well, there's something in Iman, something new that I think might be what I'm looking for. By my readings, it arrived 2-3 days ago. I can't get an exact beat on what it is or who has it. I don't dare tread too much within the city. My face is too recognizable, and there are too many of them skirting the streets. Veronica says, well, I believe you know from my peering into this creature's mind. I believe you know them. From the recollections, they are powerful, but it's not theirs. Sighs. A pity. I've met them before, and they seemed amenable to helping, although I haven't heard from them since. And Veronica kind of laughs. They've been up to quite a lot, I can tell you. None of it too relevant to you, but hopefully a sound investment. Silas kind of turns around. So you have no idea what it could be? Veronica says, well, it was an attack a few days ago. It could have been what registered. Trade comes in and out. I'm sure something will fall out of my mind eventually. You know, spiders and mice scurrying everywhere. Eventually, you don't know what you'll find, but if it's in the city, I'm sure I will hear of it soon. You could indeed give me your device, I'm sure. So I just know we've talked about this. Not trusting you with it. Appreciate the help, but you are paid well for your services, and my avenue of finding this is the only one I have. At that point, he's kind of pricks up his ears, kind of grabs Aku's arm, pulls him behind a tree. And Aku, you watch as you hear loudly, I presume. Would you guys be stealthing or walking? Well, how would you guys be approaching the situation?
Looking for Aku, and the situation could be sus, so I imagine we're probably being quiet about it.
Oh, could you all make stealth checks for me?
Oh dear.
Aku, you can make a stealth check for yourself, a perception check for yourself.
Natural 20.
Natural 20. All right.
23.
23.
Hold on. 9.
7.
Yeah, Lorraine rolled a 17. Okay, so Aku, as you're pulled behind this tree, you, from the depths of your mind, just see a clearing. Somehow, what did you roll, Zog? Sorry, 9.
Yeah, 9.
9. So yeah, somehow you don't see anything. You're so incensed and so angry to be in this situation where, again, you're not kept in your mind. You don't see your friends, but the rest of you, as Lorraine says, it kind of creeps down like pretty close. It's only
More technical issues. Yay! Sorry. What was Lorian about to say when he
What I was about
crouched
to say,
down?
I think we're getting close, about 40 feet away. Must be in the clearing up ahead. You guys kind of fan out a little bit along. Start going clanging with each step. The rest of you moving impeccably quiet. Eric, like Hayden, you're impressed with how like stealthily Barnes is moving for a non-particularly sneaky person. Clearly learning some tips or
Somebody
tricks.
dressed in bright red with golden hair and knickknacks all over him.
The nice boys are my
Absolutely.
proteges. I'm teaching them to be stealthy.
DM, I missed
Yes.
a couple of things. Am I present here?
Yes, you are. Did you not roll a stealth?
I rolled a
Sorry.
7. I rolled a 7.
Seven.
Yep.
Askor and Zug, however, Zug, as you're kind of Askor, as you see Zug kind of begin to walk, and you just have, you're like, he's gonna make so much noise, you stop. You go to put your hand on him, but he's moving a little quicker than you expect, and you kind of stumble, fall over, and fall face first, flat into the clearing. And somehow, even Aku with your roll, you see Askor fall out into the middle of this clearing. There's like a long, drawn-out sigh as you guys see emerging from the other side, Aku and Silas Briarwood.
Sick.
Remember, is a tall, handsome, soot-speckled hair, kind of slick back, clothes well made, fine still. Walk over to you, stand in the middle of the clearing, kind of fold his arms with Aku standing behind him. Hello again. Come out. I can smell the rest of you.
Hayden.
Something new. Too new.
Barnes slides out with a wave and kind of does the eyes flicking up and down. Silas Briarwood goes, well, hello. Are you a friend of the group's?
Hayden's gonna walk out and stand next to Barnes.
Would hope an employer.
Hey!
You're new. Points at Lorian as well. You're new.
Talking of new, DM, just quick check. Since our last action, have we had a rest of the long variety?
No.
We're terrible, terrible people.
We're fucked.
I'm simultaneously fresh as a daisy and also extremely old, so new is quite a word for me, but yes, I'm new to the group.
Well, I always make my acquaintances. My name is Silas, and last I met this little... What do you to refer yourself to? Spice Boys? Was that correct?
Yep.
We're the nice boys in disguise, but
Adventuring
like that.
group. I enlisted their help in finding any magical item that would help restore somebody from beyond the grave who's been dead for quite some time. And soul is potentially more difficult than traditional resurrection methods would allow.
how long exactly asking for a friend?
10 years.
Oh.
How's it going? Veronica here has seemingly stolen one of your members to communicate with me. And you doesn't believe that you were in possession of the item I'm looking for within Imon that I can sense.
Well, to the best of my knowledge, we have no power to bring back people without bodies. 10 years maybe, but not without a body. The soul bit is, that's hard, right? So...
Exceptionally.
Nope, no, I don't think we have that power. No, sorry. Jimmy, can I tell he's a
Vampire, he's not trying to hide it, yeah.
okay.
Fangs are a bit exposed. Not like bearing, but like the cat, there's like mist swirling.
Jamie, would Hayden know that a wish spell can bring someone back from the dead?
Yes.
Okay.
You would have heard legends that a wish spell is like one of the most powerful forms of magic there is available. You can warp the reality, fate around your fingers.
Cool.
Reality can be whatever you want.
Yes. Well, in which happy coincidence, I've detected that 2-3 days ago, a powerful magical item did enter Iman. One that I believe might be capable of reaching who I needed to. You, last time we met, were in possession of a powerful necromantic item, but did not fulfill requirements, unfortunately.
Oh. Guess we got rid of that one.
That's
one's
gone.
Done and dusted. Literally dusted.
Destroyed.
I mean, you would have seen us coming way before. Trees, well, they simply would wilt with that thing.
I imagine so. I imagine you're glad to be free of it.
Very much so.
Oh, yes.
Allow
So
this to be information in your search that I believe I have already paid you for half.
is the implication here that you'd like us to find the item for you, or just keep an eye out?
I believe the implication is that you were, if not actively seeking, then actively aware that there might always be one nearby that you could, if you were to find, I would be interested in. And there is one in Iman, and were you to come across it or find any notice of it, retrieve it for me.
Sure, easy enough.
That seems fair.
What exactly is the payment? I'm so sorry. Like I said, I'm new. What's at stake here? Sorry about the word.
Previously, it was several thousands worth of diamonds. I suppose if you do find it, payment can be negotiated.
If we don't find it, if we pay you back, does that make us even?
Consider the last one a retainer
Why would we want
fee.
to do that?
It's an odd question, Hayden.
I just mean because you paid us up front, but if we can't find it, like what happens if we can't find it? And then can you not hurt us and stuff?
You're a mouse, Hayden.
He
What?
does like one sometimes.
Why do you quiver and tremble?
I don't know.
Because you're hot.
No.
Does Ascot
I
actually
mean,
say
yeah, but
No. No, it wasn't even Askel's voice. No.
I'm getting kind of like a bit of a threatening aura vibe off of this conversation, and like we don't have anything, so like if I don't know, you kind of paid us up front.
Deception check from Hayden.
I mean,
Sorry,
like,
to
can he have disadvantage?
To clarify, Aaron, if Hayden believes he doesn't have anything because he hasn't connected the dots on the wish spell, that's persuasion. If Hayden has collected the dots on the wish spell and is now like he's concerned because he has something and he doesn't want to tell him, that's a deception spell. Deception check.
I'm gonna go with deception. I think he's a smart boy. He's probably connected the dots. That is a 18.
Hey, listen, guys. I'll be honest.
-3?
No, it's 21
Before we-
minus 3.
Ooh,
Before we roll in, for a little bit of suspense, for the people at home, if the people at home could get a little bit of a reminder about this aspect.
Oh, yes, the people at home, yes.
I feel like it's the people at home that you need to think about most of all.
Mm.
So on their behalf, because obviously I can only speak for them.
As a champion of the people, let's remind Luke
as
so
a
that the
paladin
people
of
at
the
home are
Mandem.
reminded.
What are we talking about?
Paladin of the Mandem.
As a paladin of the Mandem.
As a paladin of the Mandem, yeah.
If you could
Level
recap the
13.
team.
Of whose side of Briarwood is?
I mean, I think I know. Yeah, I know because of.
Cool. Silas
team.
Briarwood came to you about a year ago in the Silvercut Crossroads, and he said to you he was looking for magical objects that would bring somebody back from the dead. And he had, in some way, detected that you were in possession of an incredibly powerful magical object, and that he would like to see it to assess if whether or not it could do what you wanted it to, and if it could not, that's fine. He just wanted to know. So you showed him the Wand of Orcus in the end. He determined it was not able to do what he wanted it to, but given that you were in possession of such a powerful magical object, he said, well, there's a chance you'll be there again. So if you are there again, and you're in possession of such a powerful magical object, please let me know. And as a show of good faith and almost a retainer fee, I am going to pay you up front for some portion of this. So he gave a lot of money.
I know, DM, like, I know it's for people, isn't it? Like, so you can talk to.
Of course.
So that's.
Wait, I do have another question.
Yes.
So I think we clarified off stream that generally the people of tal'dorei don't really know of the Briarwoods or that they're evil people. This isn't general knowledge.
And he introduced himself as Silas. He hasn't identified himself as Silas Briarwood. And while you might know about the Briarwood, you certainly don't know that Silas Briarwood is a vampire and evil.
Okay, so
Erin, have you not been listening or something? Come on.
No, I'm listening. I'm just clarifying for the people at home, the people watching.
Paladin.
No, I represent them, innit?
Erin's part of the Mandem.
Mandem.
We're all part of the
Mandem. In it.
So he stares at you, Hayden, with those incredibly cat-like iris
Why am I lying to a vampire?
Stares. Like there is no how do you react to him staring at you? The rest of you as well. There is just a dead stare. Like he's trying to match. Like he's constantly looking directly into Hayden's eyes, given any opportunity.
Is it kind of like a plus 11 insights there? Is it that kind of stare?
Barnes reads people pretty well, right?
Those of you with insight, with good passive insights, I'll say over 15 over. There was no aggression before. There is the heightened sense that he probably believes Hayden is not telling the truth, and there's not aggression. There is just a rising tension.
It's not aggression. There's just disappointment.
Now, Hayden,
I'm gonna regret this, but Jamie, I think probably Hayden would have looked Silas in the eye when telling that bold-faced lie.
That's okay. He hasn't tried to charm you. That's
okay,
fine.
Good.
This is a piercing vampire stare rather than a vampire charm.
Okay.
Hayden, I think you might have put your foot in it there. Well, Silas, it's true. We had that ability, and we used it on one of our own. I'm so sorry. But to be honest, I think maybe I don't know if it would have worked for the soul. It was a bit of we had the body and we panicked. I mean, when your friends die in front of you, it's quite a lot, and I'm not even sure it's what you're looking for, but if that's what you made Hayden, then I'm not even sure it would have worked for his use case.
Yeah, I had the Fates card, and I used it.
What?
It's like a card.
You had a what?
So you know about this?
I don't know what it is.
Ever magic I'm talking about still resides within Iman. It's not gone.
Oh.
Is
Well, that's
it...
used up. It's probably not the face card he's talking about then.
If you still got the card, did you take it out or?
No, I was gonna.
No, the card, yeah.
No, I was gonna gesture at Aku. Probably because I used it on him. Maybe he's got the magical aura or something.
Over at Aku.
I just don't think we're talking about the same thing. It's been used, so we had the ability, but I guess
You can make a persuasion check, Barnes, because you believe what you're saying is the truth.
Oh, based Barnes.
17 plus
Persuasion.
15.
I should have
2.
I should have
Alright.
taken Gift of Gab.
Natural 20.
Oh shit! No, wait. Is that? But what's the total?
32 is my total.
Doesn't matter. It's a skill check.
I mean,
Oh, I do still
Technically
believe it's
not rules
true.
written,
So
but
he's
whatever,
just
life
not
goes on.
persuaded by it, but I'm not lying. Right?
He's not. So I'm telling you a good thing. He looks at you and he thinks you're absolutely because you do think you're telling the truth.
Well, it's really no. To be
DM.
honest, it's kind of more of a deception. Well, no.
You think you're telling the truth, right? You don't know about the ring.
True, I think
Like,
Hayden's acting weirdly, but he said this to try cover his tracks rather
Yeah.
than try get to the matter of what's actually up with Hayden. But yeah.
Yeah, DM.
Natural 20s aren't natural skill checks anyway. Successes.
Reaction.
Yeah.
Reaction. So, as a psionic spell, I would like to cast Silvery Barbs at its original first level. On the... Is it Silence Bride, is it?
Yeah.
Is that the name? Yeah. So the target is magically distracted. And I turn its momentary uncertainty. Okay, yeah, go. Yeah. Okay, so basically the target must re-roll the d20 and use the lower roll.
It has advantage on the next attack roll, ability check, same makes roll right at a creature. But yeah, okay.
So that's a different creature. So I will then give that advantage to a different creature. I'll give that to Hayden.
Action which take a creature and see if you see is on attack roll and ability check. It succeeds. Okay.
Silvery Bobs is good.
Fine. All right. As like he like looks, his eyes piercing as if he's about to break. Even Barnes or Hayden, Askell, there's like this. your powers play up, as it were, and your hand just pops off and kind of looks down, and you kind of like go and pick it up and kind of put it up and switches back to both of you. And some of the tension in the air has gone. And you kind of, well, I'm to believe what you say, and where did you come by such an item?
I actually got it from a member of the Mighty Nine. Not the Mighty Nine, sorry,
Vox
wrong
Machina.
campaign. I actually got it from a member of Vox Machina.
Jaw clenches.
It was a grog.
You didn't tell them about me, did you?
No? You never came up in conversation. Why would I... Do you know them?
We've had dealings in the past.
They're pretty nice, so... Good, right?
It's a long sigh.
I don't think I need to insight check
So
a
the
sigh that
stories
long.
say. So, you were in possession of it no longer. I don't think magic fades that quickly. And no, it's still nearby. Somewhere. We can return to the previous aspect of our conversation. I'm not about to run you down if you cannot find what I'm looking for.
Oh, good. Because I don't
I'm
think we
throwing
have...
out feelers wherever I can. And hoping that somewhere I strike gold. Simply, that money was a sign of good faith, and a thank you for allowing me to examine the object you had in your possession.
Cool. That's good, because I'm broke.
Are we talking about the cucumber?
A wonderful
We
kiss,
are.
yes.
Yeah.
Wow, you straight up showed that to this man. Great, so you're in on the thing. Yeah, sure.
But
If you want
it-
to work us.
Hey, to be fair, it was different circumstances, kind of. Sorry, Barnes.
Oh, don't worry about it, Hayden. It's fine. Pats him on the shoulder, like clearly good natured and all fine.
Hayden's
But,
like
okay, so
sweating.
Silas, you're in on the gaff. We're all friends here. Correct. All good. Why are we being so awkward? He's just gonna walk up to
know.
Silas and just give him a handshake and just be like, good to meet you anyway.
I awkwardly shake. Both of your hands are as cold as each other's. It's kind of odd.
Buzz kind of looks down at the handshake and just gives a sheepish little smile and goes, would you look at that?
Curious. Like I
To be
said,
honest, Silas, we're not here to pick bones with you. Though if you're game, I am too. Veronica, what are you doing with Aku?
Yeah.
escape.
That is the reason we're here.
Escaping my bonds for but a night and coming here to meet an old friend. Aku's hand kind of traces along Silas's back and he kind of pulls away, like clearly irritated by the interaction.
Gosh.
Oh, fine. You can have him back. And kind of like, you see Aku kind of eyes kind of go green for a second, flash, and then something wisps almost escape, and Aku thrust back quite uncomfortably. The second you gasp, you are flung into full control of your body and faculties. Standing next to Silas, and in the middle of this moonlit clearing with your friends standing around you.
So, like, where is the hag gone?
She's left your mind. No longer there.
He's gonna take a deep inhale, shuffle pretty uncomfortably much further away from Silas, and spit on the ground, look pretty annoyed at the fact that he has not had control of his body for the last however many hours.
Oh, there he is. That's our Aku. You feeling all right?
He kind of gives you a look to say, do I look like I'm feeling all right?
Obviously pissed off, but no weird hag effects. Fingernails still of a certain length. Not slimy.
Are you saying this out loud?
Yeah. Just kind of checking for hag signs. Looks good to me. Good. Great.
So if this is all concluded, then we can head back to the city and not be in the middle of the forest at 2 in the morning? Yeah.
One moment. Just to ensure that if you are in possession of such an item again, you will contact me. Hayden, Zug,
Of course. I mean, I don't know how, but
Hans,
I will.
Aku, Ascor.
Sure. We're friends, right?
I'd like to be so.
Look, I'd offer you a drink, but you said you can't go into a mon or... Wait, no, I wasn't left that. But we've actually got something we really need to attend to tonight, but maybe soon we can just get a drink at some point. Do you drink? I mean, you drink, but do you drink?
I do, just... I don't like him on.
Oh, not a mon then. Have a
Somewhere
picnic.
else.
Let's have a picnic.
I've had a picnic in years. You bring me what I'm after. Have as many picnics as you like, Barnes.
Great. Let's solve your problems and have a picnic. Boys, are we game? I've not
Why
had
not?
a picnic in a millennia, so I would love to have one.
Sounds like a plan.
I've never had a picnic before.
Oh my goodness. Well, that's it. It's a plan.
Well, you're long overdue for a picnic, then, I guess.
Wonderful.
Silas,
You gotta-
we'll get your item for you, or at least
And he
let you know.
So it kind of turns to Ascor. Is picnic a euphemism that I'm missing? Are we...
You hear in your head, I have no idea.
Ah. What are we agreeing to?
You hear in your head again. So you can speak to me telepathically if you want.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, he speaks back in there. But like every time Zug speaks to you in your head, it's way too loud. It sounds like he's almost yelling a bit. What are we agreeing to?
Where is she? Ascor kind of like eyes flutter a bit as it's kind of loud, just kind of like a bit of a forced smile. And you hear back, wait there. And then Ascor pipes up just, oh, well, obviously we're going to make an agreement. It's important for us to understand the terms. So when you say that In fact, DM, remind me of what his exact phrasing was, if you're able to.
You'll contact me if you. You'll contact me if you find an item you believe is capable of bringing somebody back from the dead long ago.
And of the terms, naturally, of course, it's in our own interest, mutually, and with the down payment. But it's important for me as a businessman to understand the terms of the agreement I'm entering into in an explicit manner. If we weren't to deliver on such, what would the course be?
Again, I haven't paid you for what I want yet. Your failure would be disappointing, but I have many threads, and you are but a strand.
I think
Now, I
we're
don't need
reacting
be
to this whole thing.
pedantic, but that's very
Do
indirect.
you want consequences for failing? You keep asking for them.
No, I'm asking if there are consequences. That's all. If there are, you're like a
You'll simply be disappointing me, Ascor.
Oh.
You don't want to disappoint Daddy.
I
been
think
a
he's
very
very used to
bad boy.
disappointing Daddy. Ascor is incredibly used to disappointing Daddy.
Look, we just live for the thrill of punishment, Silas. What can I say? Just.
And as for what I would pay, Ascor, I presume you're not in the habit of paying an undisclosed amount for an undisclosed item, are you not? That seems ludicrous. Bring me what I need. If it's able to do it, I shall verify. And I will give you whatever is in my power to give.
I think that feels like a
great.
fair trade,
So
guys.
we're building the foundations of a social contract here. And what exactly is it you'd be able to provide? An extremity?
What is it you desire, Ascor? Gold, power over others, other magical items, secrets, lands, titles, your enemies dead. What is it you want?
Could you make a pair of socks that were just never chafed? Especially when you use them a lot.
Dog!
And get a chance to walk.
Well,
What? I need to ask what I really want.
It's not what you want for your birthday.
I mean, well, you know, I just don't think such a thing exists unless it was crafted by a very powerful mage.
No, I'm pretty sure.
And he goes, sort of leans down to his own, like, very high-end socks, gives him a slight tug, but of course recognizes they are medieval socks. That's impossible.
A man can dream, Ascor. A man can dream.
Then wake up.
So if your socks have holes in them, please let me repair your socks.
No, it's not holes. I'm saying, like, you know, you sweat into them, and like after an entire week of traveling around and fighting, you know, they just begin to hurt a bit.
Wear your socks for an entire week?
You don't clean your socks.
You
Guys, we
Well, what am I
cannot
gonna-
talk about your stinky socks in polite
What
company.
am I going to
Just-
clean them with? What are you on about? Why,
this
while
is
you were
a-
in the Underdark, you were just washing your socks then? Oh, wait, you weren't in the Underdark. Well, you would know that.
I can clean your socks for you
Silas has
daily.
turned and is leaving.
Look what you've done. You've sent a friend away. Silas, we'll be in contact. Item picnic soon. Good to meet you, man.
I thought
Well,
it
it's
was
a shame to not
problems.
make any agreement, you hear Ascor says, and maybe slightly louder, a little bit of earshot.
He doesn't seem interested in continuing this conversation any further.
More importantly, Zog, I can clean your socks. I will.
It's
touch
not
your
about cleaning the socks. I
they're
can clean my
hurting.
own socks. I know how to clean socks. I'm not talking
They're
about that.
hurting after a week, Zug.
It's
After a
more
week of
to
wear.
do with when, you know, they're just a bit, you know, they're not immediately fresh, and then you're fighting, and you've got your boots, and he shows us kind of like relatively quite metal plate boots. It's not great for mobility.
I'm going to get you so many socks for your birthday. I will get you all kinds of socks.
Well,
until
I'm
we
just
find
gonna
the
carry
socks.
them around. I'm talking about when we go adventuring. You can't carry around 50 pairs of socks, and nobody's gonna give you the time to put on new socks before they stab you.
I'm going to find you adventuring socks. I swear to the gods, Zug. That will be your birthday present. The best damn adventuring socks you have ever worn or ever will wear. That's a promise from me to you.
Zug, you're thinking like a consumer. You need to start thinking like an entrepreneur. You found the problem. Come up with a sock.
I don't know how to make socks.
I have a spare pair of socks if you want them, Zug.
It's not about the sock. And he kind of turns and begins walking back to wherever they're going.
Zug walks up and it's like, oh, do you know, I think that is the most hated I've ever seen Zug.
Oh.
He's still
Ah.
riding out adrenaline from his encounter with Kolkor. Aku, my friend, I'm so sorry that you missed our tango earlier by the docks. Oh my word. We have some
Wait.
shit to show you. We should go do that now.
Are you sure this is Aku?
What? What? Sorry, I missed that.
Are you sure this is Aku?
Of course it's Aku. He spat on the ground and is looking pissed and sour. Who else is that going to be?
That does
I don't
sound
know.
like
It could
Aku.
be the tree god.
Tell
No,
us something
it's-
Aku would only know. That we would know, but the hag wouldn't. That's how you check that people aren't mind controlled, right?
Hold on. The hag's been in Aku's mind.
So what, does she know everything that Aku knows? Is that how hag possessions work?
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
Aku, what happened?
I can't ask.
I'm afraid that probably the hag is aware of everything I am aware of. I mean, what can I say? I lost control of my body yet again. And he kind of starts walking in the direction that Zug's walking if the group is kind of moving. And he's sort of walking a bit wonky. Like he's just been on like a really, really horrible ride and he's just been spinning and he just doesn't quite have the ability to walk straight and is looking pretty pissed about it.
Oh dear. Better make sure they get back safely. Come on,
Hayden's...
Hayden, we'll cheer them up with your findings.
Well, I hope it's cheerful.
Nah, it
Yeah.
will be.
Okay, let's go. And Hayden's gonna try to run to catch up with Zug and Aku.
Okay. Are you talking on the way back, or are you all gonna wait till Lorian's discuss anything of note, really?
I think we'd wait till we're back.
Cool. Head back. Grab Lorian's shop. It's about 12 midnight, 1 a.m. at this point, so it is getting late. And as you all kind of pile in, Lorian kind of puts his feet up on the desk. There's a grungus on the side. A couple of them kind of all snoring like all snoring, and you can't quite tell how many there are. Every time you look, there's either one less or one more. Each time you count, it's a bit infuriating. And Lorian kind of puts like closed sign up, kind of puts his feet up and goes, "Well, you're always welcome here. Come on. What do you find? You all look well. When I met you, you all look pleased as punch, and then a guy kind of punctured a few balloons, but." Got a story to tell?
Oh yes, I think we do.
I fought a giant demon.
He's a devil, so you can't call him a demon. That is not
Oh.
acceptable. They're
Is that-
very different.
Are they?
Yes. Demons are from the abyss. We hate those. Devils are from the hells. Abyss and hells are very different and they're all at war. It's a constant struggle. The blood war, strife, misery. We're constantly at each other's throats.
Well, hold on. What was it about devils? I mean, they're literally called devils.
They
I'm
are.
very.
Devils, demons, different. Demons are like bulbous, pustulant sort of wallowing things, and devils are like the red-horned guys with spikes and shit.
Interesting.
Devils are sexier, generally.
That's an opinion.
Just if you need to do a quick comparison, just ask yourself, are they hot? If yes, probably a devil from the hells. If no, probably from the abyss.
I will keep that in mind.
Anyway, we're not here to talk about stupid, sexy devils. We're here to talk about
Wait, they're
Hayden.
sexy.
Take the floor.
Wait. How do we know that no one's listening? Or also,
I don't think we do.
Dorian, do we know?
is there any way?
You got any anti-scrying methods? I don't. Some of this stuff works, but not for that.
Like, I could secret us away if you're worried. I suppose this sort of conversation does warrant it.
Maybe. But also, he kind of looks at Aku and looks back at the rest of the group, then looks at Aku again. How do we know the hag still isn't here? I don't really want her listening in on this. Is there any way that we can check?
Well, I could delve into Aku's mind, but Aku are comfortable with another being slipping in there, because I imagine you're not.
He gives Barnes a flat look and says, I think there are quite enough in my mind already. Thank you, Barnes.
Fair enough.
Aku, come on. Just the tip.
If Aku would not like any part of me in his mind or anywhere else, then that is fine and I respect that. I will take Aku at his word. He seems fine. I mean, the hag already knows everything anyway. And where I think I can take us, I think I need to specify who comes in. I wonder if we'll just rule her out immediately.
I don't know. Where are you taking us?
Sort of had a tickling at the back of my mind earlier, seeing my old friend, colleague from work, Coldcore, however we know each other. I have no idea, really. I remember a place I used to go to, and I think I know how to reach it, so I could take us there. Comfortable lodgings and all that.
Is anybody else slightly confused? You have a colleague.
Well, you met him earlier. That was Coldcore from work. The big horned winged guy who made fire and, distracted everyone.
With the guy who was fighting Zug.
Right. His name's Coldcore. He introduced himself, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. It was a bit odd. I mean, not because he was odd. I'm not calling him odd. He was fine.
Oh, he's pretty odd.
Composes
I think
devil.
that's a fair assessment.
Well, what is he? Some kind of sentient illusion, or?
No, he's a devil from the Nine Hells.
So, are the Nine Hells good?
No,
Is he good?
definitely not. No, I don't think. Well, I don't know. He was the first thought I had when I summoned help. So, however, we know each other. He
Ah,
he called me General and Master though, which is pretty tight. So,
General
interesting.
of the Nine Hells?
well, he didn't specify. I could be like General of like, I don't know, little unit of like 5 people. You never know.
Okay.
Curious.
So where's this place you're taking us? Is it like is it to the Nine Hells? I don't really
No.
want to go to the Nine Hells.
It's not the Nine Hells. I cannot take us to the Nine Hells.
Oh, okay, good.
Laria, did you have like a storeroom I could put a secret door in? Just temporarily. DM, Lorian!
Lorian kind of looking at you, dead in the face. You're all got rooms. You're more than welcome to go in any of them, but... What? Sure, and he kind of points to just like a room filled with boxes.
You want privacy, right? I can give you privacy. Okay, let's do this. In the storeroom, he will take his sword out and carve just a small doorway into the back of a wall, kind of a red slit of light that will shine outwards and shimmer into a black door with a single filigreed golden handle. He'll be like, okay, I actually don't really know what this is going to be like, but I'm excited. It'll last till tomorrow. I'm sure it'll be great. Let's go. And he'll push the door through. It'll be safe, no scrying. We'll be completely like sequestered off from the world, so
As the
all
door
good, boys.
swings open, there's kind of a black outline, and it looks like as Barnes steps through, Barnes just vanishes.
Where'd he go?
How it's meant to work?
I don't know.
He just die?
No, he definitely went somewhere.
Maybe you should stick your hand in and check that you can come back out.
Just stick my hand in. Do it.
I've lost enough limbs this week.
Aku sighs and walks through the door.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
It's
Aku
like, kinda
vanishes
like,
as well.
oh, well, I guess this is what we're doing now. All right then. And then Zug follows.
Oh, wait for me! And he's gonna run through his own.
Okay.
So if everyone is coming in,
Yes.
you enter into what is a vast and vaulted entry hall, polished, sleek, kind of dark grey marble ribboned with white. It's kind of warm in color with resplendent tapestries, rugs in red, orange, gold, heavily tasseled. And at the top of the hall is a set of lights, kind of bizarrely to you, trapped in glass. You don't see any fire burning. There just seems to be a tiny little metal curl that seems to be emanating light in each of these glass bulbs. And they light up the space by way of like a huge glittering chandelier. In front of you is a double-sided stairway which leads up to the second floor, a kind of upper balcony. And nestled between the two branches of the stairs is a large painting, 15 foot tall, of, to your eyes, Barnes. Only he looks a little different. His hair is slicked back, maybe a little longer, still curled, and the ends of it kind of dissolve into red wisps at the end. He has two horns made of red electricity spiraling out from the sides of his head. And most different are his eyes, which are deep blood red pools, ringed in thick black lashes with kind of like red traces bearing up through his eyes to meet in a central star on the forehead. In this painting of him, he stands atop a balcony, and in the background you see the ravages of war, devils and other less pleasant creatures, and it's kind of a throwback to the conversation you were just having, demons of the abyss tearing each other apart. He himself, though, is posing in front of a flag with a cool smile, his staff that you found in his attic, a staff made of diamond and rubies in one hand, his rapier in the other. And Barnes kind of like enters, and there's two lines either side up this red carpet of tiny little imps that are sat waiting for an order, and they all bow as you all step forward. And Barnes turns around. He looks surprised. He kind of blinks and says, "Oh, well, I guess I thought more about you guys' rooms when I made this. I didn't think too hard about the rest, and I sort of just happened." And his eyes drift to the painting up in the entry hall, and he frowns. But like either side of this room are archways that lead off to what look like more rooms. One direction has a sign reading "to the orphanage." Another one, through that archway, there looks, maybe it actually, to you on first glance, it kind of looks like a reconstructed version of what looks like a hallway the same size and shape as the decrepit, crumbling house that you were in beneath Rosanna. You get the impression that it's kind of just a memory to him, maybe, of what his house looked like on that side. And he kind of just wheels around and says, "Well, this is a very big house, and we are very safe here. And his eyes keep darting back to the painting with a confused kind of expression.
Luke, can I ask? The flag in the painting, what does it look like?
Red, deep blood red, with an emblem on it, fringed in gold tassels. It's a large flag. It's kind of like billowing in the wind.
This is when I just let Clue take over.
Yeah, sorry, dear.
I sit back and I'm like, yes, good. I can have a break.
It's like that time that Liam O'Brien cast the spell and Matt was just
like
able to sit
half
back
an
and
hour,
chill.
like, that was so,
Yeah, I'm
very
not that
good.
bad.
No, I'm loving these descriptions. They're so good.
These little imp servants kind of run forward to each of you and go, "Hello, we're so pleased to welcome you,
Get away
master."
from me! Oh.
And they kind
hello.
of like bow, they like press their foreheads to the floor, and like look up with big shining eyes, awaiting their order. And Barnes says, "I think they're friendly." Yeah.
Do the imps touch Aku at any point?
No, they kind of just like scrabble around. They seem really excited, like thrilled to see someone. Like they've been waiting for this moment for a very, very long time. Like they can't contain themselves, but they're like reining themselves back. They're still servants after all, so they're not, physically able to touch their masters. That would be bad for them.
A lot of activity, but not a lot of action going on.
A lot of scampering.
Yes.
So, I have rooms for y'all, or we could go to like a study, like a planning room. I'm sure there's a planning room. I definitely have a planning room in here. Library, or yeah. Food? Are you hungry?
Always.
Do you want
What have
your
you
rooms first?
Oh, that's such a tough choice.
I'll leave it up to you. I'm your tour guide here.
Food.
What is this place?
He turns to Dylan and says, "To be honest, I don't know. It's sort of, I don't really remember, but it tugs at the corner of my mind like a safe place, like somewhere I used to spend a lot of time. I remember cozy beds and entertainment and laughter and all of that, but no, I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't know how to answer."
DM, can I make an insight check on that?
Yes, absolutely.
Clued, can I ask a completely irrelevant question, which is, do any of the imps have a little green ribbon around their neck?
Yeah, go
Oh,
on, one of
shit.
them.
I got 24 there. That's all right.
24
insight.
on Barnes. Barnes is
Did I roll
persuasion,
something?
right? Or persuasion or deception?
I'll roll something.
Something.
26 total. Whatever it is, I mean, yeah.
Barnes seems pretty genuine.
Okay. Alright, cool.
Barnes has been pretty open. You get the sense that Barnes probably wouldn't show you this and then deliberately lie about it, given everything else.
In light of how confused he's been about the whole Asmodeus thing, like, this seems kind of tangentially as a follow-on from this. Although he does keep looking at the big painting of clearly himself with a different set of eyes very nervously. Oh, and also in the painting, he has no scars around his eyes.
What color is his eyes? They're red in the painting?
Red.
Yeah, just red pools, like no discernible iris-sclera separation. It's just a glowing pool. No
Very sexy.
scars either.
Well, should we sit down and get talking about this? Because
Right, let's do it.
you might
That
need
later.
to act. Or, yeah. So there's like sofas in this room or something, or
Sure, yeah. And,
Of you, master, and you see some shuffle away, kind of dragging big red cushioned sofas into
oh
this room.
no!
for the-
I'll take him to a proper room. Don't bring sofas here. This is an entry hall.
Sorry. And you start seeing another one. Guy takes out a whip and starts hitting the other
No,
one.
no
like, stupid.
whips. We don't need the whips. Put the whips away.
Takes out a mace.
No maces. No violence. This is a violence-free hall. We don't do that here. We talk about our feelings openly. How do you feel today?
Excited, master. You're back.
How do we
Wanted to
discipline?
deceive you. This way,
Guys are excited.
please.
Do you know what you can do? You can get us some drinks, please.
Of course, anything for you, master. It kind of runs away, and they'll be back with drinks. Probably should have specified exactly what you wanted.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, type A or type B is what I'm thinking.
O negative, please.
Type B negative, I'll take it.
That was a lot, guys. Jeez. Okay. And he's gonna lead everyone upstairs. Up the hallways you walk through are completely outrageous. Like, even by your standards, Ascor, this is pretty impressive. Like, it's fit for the tastes of like archdevils and the like. The rooms you walk past, they're all huge, the sofas are plush, everything is expensive, an unholy amount of ruby, it is glittering and decorated. Tastefully so, though I don't know how I can say loads of rubies are very untasteful, but whatever. It is somehow. There's like, you walk past a dining room, Zog, and the tables are piled high with food, a feast that just looks fresh and inviting. And you keep going, you walk past all kinds of things. Huge, beautiful vaulted bathrooms, like large kind of heated pool rooms. And he kind of takes you to a large room that seems to be fit for discussion around a round table. There are kind of crossed glaives on the wall, flags out the back, and it almost looks like a war strategy room. There are kind of like whiskey shelves on the side and some like nice little tumblers, a map stretched out, so you don't really recognize any of the terrain on it. Sofas everywhere, kind of some of them lined up around this table, and he indicates and says, I think this is the talking room. Right, yes. Yes, this one.
Okay.
Absolutely. You will approach this mansion. Is probably making all of you slightly uncomfortable. Whilst it is beautifully made and Barnes has visited lots of places and there's these wonderful, well-made, impressive, grand rooms and statues, it's a lot. It is certainly a lot. And on top of that, a lot of the images you're seeing, unsettling. We'll put it that way.
So?
Okay, so now that we're all here and no one's listening, hopefully, he looks at Aku and he looks back at his bag. I think we found Hannah. And he opens up his satchel and pulls out a small silver cage and he places it on the table.
And as the small little silver thing jinks down and you can see the tiny little purple gem kind of thing kind of bouncing around in between, kind of following it around, and all of you stare at the soul inside this little cage. That's where we'll call a break.
Cocked.
By the time we found Hannah. Bam. We'll be back at quarter two for everybody, if that's okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. As we have you had a quick chat with semi-patron employer Silas, who believes you may or may not be in possession of the item. Turns out you weren't, except maybe you are, and has again reiterated his offer, kind and generous offer, that should you have an item that will be able to help him, he would like to know, and he will pay you handsomely. However, you then, Hayden at the time did not disclose the information that only Hayden is aware of, that maybe the wish spells he has access to would be able to help. And instead, you have all gone back to Lorian's and then retreated inside Barnes's magnificent mansion. Upon which, you have been led way through some grand, if slightly disturbing, and very red corridors, with lots of artwork of Barnes and imposing grand figures leading armies of devils against demons. In the blood, which you presume, those of you with any past intelligence, might have been depictions of the Blood War, which Barnes spoke about recently when devils and demons got confused. However, Hayden has put the cage that was found last session, last evening during the heist of the Redwater Jewel, onto the table. And then it says, this is the soul of Hannah Wasserman. All of you, that name rings a bell. You all remember the election.
be.
You remember what has happened. You're probably aware of kind of, if this is true, the significance of what has been found. And those of you with more devious minds, it starts racing. Those of you with more opportunistic minds, thinks about all the things you could possibly start doing with this. However, it's a pretty momentous occasion if it's true. To all of you, go.
Sorry, say that again.
This is seriously the soul of Hannah Wasserman.
Wait, the soul or the like? So she is dead.
She's in the cage, Zug. It's a soul cage I spoke about earlier.
Oh,
She had this girl for it earlier, remember? And we thought maybe, just maybe, it might be Hannah that she had, if we could find it. And I was right. She... Ah.
So when I picked it up, I could hear her speak to me, and she said, maybe, I don't know how these things work, if we can just, like, release her, if we can just talk to her, maybe, or we touch the cage again, maybe she'll talk to us again, right?
My understanding of necromancy, once a soul is released, it's once again viable for resurrection. So,
seriously?
give it to the Council of Tal'dorei and they could bring back their previous Ma'am of Commerce, which is potentially a good thing, if that's what you're after. We could
Surely that's
use-
what we're after.
Well, sure, but we could use this. If she has the soul of Hannah Wasserman, she almost certainly killed her. You have to kill them to trap the soul.
Well, maybe we can ask Hannah and find out.
What happened, right? And tell her we're working on getting her back, but if we need to frame Safrena and indict her in the murder of
I don't think we
Heinrich
need to
von
frame her at
Everything-
all.
Well, no, but it's the perfect in to frame her for killing Heinrich as well. I mean, if she killed Hannah, then of course it should kill Heinrich.
Well, why would we need to kill Heinrich if Hannah comes back? Then there's no election for the Council of Tal'dorei. She would just
Yeah,
resume her
exactly.
post, right?
Sure, but I suppose, just wouldn't it be nice if Asgore was the guy? I mean, she might not want to resume the role. Think about it. You spent a few weeks in a soul cage, however long it's been. You just probably don't want to go back
Well,
to
I
work,
mean, it's
do you?
probably worth asking her before
Sure, it's
we
worth
assume that-
asking, but you know, the election might still be on, and we might still need to kill Heinrich. Asgore, do you still want to kill your father?
You know, now you word it like that, it just doesn't. I don't know. The way you asked me, that's not fair.
You want to take revenge on Heinrich von Galderdane for everything that he's done to you, and will continue to do to you. His abuse of power, his abuse of those around him, his own family even.
He's Asgore just, as you say those words, he's just kind of glares to the thought of his father and what he feels his father has done to him.
Well, regardless of what we do with the soul, do we want to talk to her? Hey, you found her, so.
Okay.
DM, I have 2 questions before we
Yes.
go on. The first one is, after spending time in Imon, like, and obviously hearing a bunch of gossip and chatter in various places, like, did we ever get a good idea of how well received Hannah Wasserman was? Like, were people sad when she was murdered? Like, did people think she was good at her job? Like, was she, like, someone that was well loved by people? Or
Make
was this...
you guys can you could have make an investigation or a history check, whichever you prefer. To kind of what snippets you'd heard or stuff you'd have researched while looking around, or either one of those.
Can I make this check as well?
If you are all thinking about it and thinking back.
That's a 4.
Rolled a 22.
With a 4, Hannah was more the topic of the gossip rather than actually of interest herself. She, unfortunately, much of the gossip that was going around wasn't particularly focused on Hannah, and you aren't. It doesn't really come to you. What she was like with the 22, kind of bit more in tune with where you can find that information, listen, overhearing stuff in the brothel, maybe more about it. Hannah was seen as a bit old-fashioned. She was good at her role, but she'd been in it a while, and she'd been kind of in a similar position under King Uriel, and Master of Commerce needed to change. People seemed quite glad for the sake of the election. They were sad that Hannah was dead. Obviously, it's tragic. But you get the sense that before, a lot of people would have been happy to see her resign. Not because she was bad at her job, but that as you've kind of learned through this, the Master of Commerce role is increasingly needing to deal with a lot of challenges and is also being seen as more powerful in this council than it once would have been. And Hannah didn't seem willing to accept this new role, responsibility, or not willing to accept it, but didn't seem to acknowledge it even.
DM, through the help of my Mask of the Aboleth, I have rolled a 30. Dirty 30.
30. You get all of that. You also might have heard rumors, as it were, that Hannah was indeed planning to step down, or at least had made it clear. However, you understood that bucking kind of the new thing, she was going, or was rumored to have been wanting to play a more heavy hand in the election of her successor and almost endorse something that was frowned upon by much of the council in the other kind of elections.
So she was stepping down and wanted to possibly endorse somebody else to fill her boots.
Yes.
Thank you.
So the second question is, does Aku have any residual feeling or understanding of like whether the hag is still in his mind? Because I mean, she promised a day, right? Like a whole day, or no, an evening, and that hasn't happened yet.
Aku would feel released by the hag upon the upon that. You cannot feel any residue in your mind, and you and Lanharath are used to feeling other influences, and you've delved around, and you're as competent as you can be. You are unsure about what this means for your deal, whether or not this is fully fulfilled, or Silas Briarwood's intervention, as it were, means maybe the hag will try to collect at another date. You probably might take that up with her directly. As a suspicious person, that's what you're feeling.
Great, thanks.
What was the initial question asked before that intelligence roll?
It was about how well was Hannah Mosselman liked, basically.
And was that vocalized by any of our characters? That was generic question.
What you guys would have found out walking around, knowing things as you do.
Cool. So it's not like anybody just asked that question out loud. Like, I wonder how,
Yeah, no.
It's not like I would reply out loud to that.
No.
I see. Thank you.
So, shall we assume that the knowledge that Asgore has is stuff that he may have shared with us at some point when we were discussing trying to find Hannah Mosselman?
You could share it now, but we're not bringing her back's a good idea.
Okay, so yeah, so Barnes had said, do we want to bring her back? Maybe we ask her.
Yeah, and he said she might not even want to come back. She's just been dead. Would you want to go back to work if you just spent a month or however long in a soul cage? Probably not.
Sure. And Ascot in that case probably replies, look, I know I'm planning to run for office, but I know for pretty much a fact, not a fact, that's too strong, but the word travels. Wasserman, she wasn't in it for the long haul. She planned to step down at some point, but things got a little tricky when she broke the mold and decided she might try to endorse another candidate, which is, it's not the dumb thing by any means.
All
Did
right.
you ever find out who she might be endorsing?
DM would I have known?
With a natural 30. No, dirty 30. I will say 30. I guess you can't really have a higher DC. Yeah. She might have been endorsing your father, Heinrich.
Oh, gee.
Oh.
Yeah. The rumors were, and well, it was good news for us at the time when we were an us, but she was going to endorse my father.
I see.
Oh, this has just got weirder and weirder.
Well, no, that makes perfect sense. Silfrena found out and had her killed to keep her out of the equation. I mean, Silfrena's not in a good state as is. Imagine if the previous woman in office was backing your opposition. Of course you'd have them killed. Makes perfect sense to
She
me.
wouldn't have stood a chance.
No, not at all. And she was still losing despite having pulled this wild card, killing the previous Master of Commerce. Wow. Desperate. Really desperate, actually.
So I think we want to still release her, right? And return her to the council and let them do what they need to do, right? Because
To be utilitarian about it, absolutely yes. But I think we have a great chance. I use this to sow the seeds of doubt. We kill Heinrich first, return her to the council. Say, council, Silfrena killed Hannah. She probably killed Heinrich too, and use whatever phony proof we concoct. It's easy. Easiest frame of my life, actually.
Why you regularly frame people?
He glances around this Asmodeus dripping mansion and goes, "Do you know, I'm starting to think that I might actually do that. It does come to me quite naturally."
Escort, if you were to run for office, what would you plan to do differently from your father? Like, if your goals are the same as his, then killing him necessary?
Well, I wouldn't plan to deregulate the employment market to quite the same degree, and of course, there's international trade, which I'm probably more in favor of. But hold on. For me, it's I know what my father's become, or I feel like I might know.
What do you mean
It
what
just
he's
doesn't sit
become?
right with me.
He sent an assassin to kill his own son and then had him replaced with a doppelganger. That's pretty bad, dude.
Has a point.
I just want everybody to know here that, look, I know what power does to people, but I'm not out here to commit some grand vision. I'm not. I'm just understandably cautious of my father, what that means for me, and every day I'm beginning to think what that means for the world.
Look, I think we can all agree that Asgore is a better choice than Silfrena, who killed the previous Master of Commerce. And is God knows to do what with the bombing and all of that. As well as, well, it's her or Heinrich. And we've just discussed his faults, so I think honestly it's a no-brainer to put her friend up there and see what he can do, given what he's talking about here.
Hey, he looks to Doug and Aku.
I don't know.
What we're doing?
I guess.
Well, one thing doesn't sit well with me, which is the fact that when we talked to Silfrena, I'm sure there was a large element of lying, but She didn't seem very focused on the election. She seemed very willing to let it go and more focused on what was happening with the plague and with everything else. Is that really somebody that would try at all costs to win? I just don't really know what her motives are. I mean, we have to think carefully about what we're doing here.
I agree.
Because if we frame Sulfrena, there's a even higher chance that Heinrich will win, and we don't know whether we are going to be able to even. Well, there's no telling what could happen with Heinrich.
Well, we're framing Silfrena for Heinrich's death, which we shall orchestrate, so we don't need to
Which
worry
we
about
don't
Heinrich
have
there.
a solid plan for, is what I'm saying.
We'll
I
think
mean,
of one, but I get what you're saying. If anything, I'm more curious about Silfrena's wife, who, by the way, is cheating on Silfrena. She was in the brothel the other night, and she was angry as all hells when I brought that up to her.
Damn.
Good
Hold
nature.
on, that's just salacious hearsay. I mean, maybe you saw it. That's fine. But what's that got
Oh.
to do with anything?
Well, just that I think her wife's the ambitious one, and Silfrena might just be doing what she thinks is the right thing. She might believe herself as the right person for the job and is sort of just doing what she has to. I got weird vibes from her. Also, guys, there's no denying the circumstantial evidence we found. She has ties to the cult of Vecna. She had the soul cage spell, and she is the one capable of casting it. She certainly put Hannah inside that soul cage. There's no two ways about that. She's not poor Silfrena who stumbled into the situation. Even if she's unwilling or at least somewhat good motivated, what she's done is undeniable.
Barnes
I'm not-
raises
That's a point.
a good point.
I'm not denying that, but what if Sulfrena had a motivation that we don't know about that maybe is a lesser evil than what could have happened had Hannah Wasserman, well, if things had panned out a different way, and if Heinrich is to be elected?
We want to investigate further. There was somebody on the ship with her wife tonight. Sort of matched the description you gave. I don't know if it was him, I've never met the man, but ask her, could you show me what Cecil Fortompt looks like? Can you illusion it?
Easily enough. And as he's saying that, wisps from his hand, from his fingers. It's almost as if smoke, and then they begin to coalesce. And DM, I'd like to make a likeness of Cecil Fortompt.
Absolutely. So at this time, wearing very sensible shoes, suit trousers, a well ironed shirt, very well put together. But this time without a cloak and the hood drawn over his face. There is a middle-aged, slightly, possibly half-elven man standing there, hooked, kind of spectacles, green eyes, slick back hair, and he does look pretty similar to the man you saw on the boat.
That really could be him. And if it was him, they're in cahoots with the guy that put the medallions on the guards and bombed the rally as we suspected.
Sure. Aku, and Askel turns to Aku and says, I'm not really in this for the power. I'm not. And if you can think of a way we can find out more about that, about Sulfrena, I'm open to it. I just don't want to jeopardize what we've already gained, which, with the way that boat heist went, is a lot.
Here's the thing. We don't have a plan of how we're going to deal with Heinrich. And I really think that we should at least have some understanding of what's going on down below and what Heinrich is getting up to before we take any drastic action. Secondly, Askel, knowing that Hannah Wasserman was killed and all of these probably multiple plots to kill your father, Do you really think that you're up for a position where your life is in such danger? It's not really something that we've discussed. I mean, you may be willing to talk about your plans, but would you really be ready for that kind of position? This is all things we have to consider before we do something that we don't know what the repercussions will actually be once we've done it.
Ascor looks thoughtful for a moment, as if it is the first time he's considering this idea that should he wish to supplant his father, he may just take home that heat. Yeah. I'm not my father. You all know that. But whoever out there is looking, well, to end my father's career, maybe they think I'm just the same. Who knows what they do know? Who knows what they don't know? I feel like who's right. Hmm?
So I was going to say, Hayden, whilst talking about threats on Ascor's father's life and kind of what would need to get done and plans, you can't help but kind of draw to your mind that the people currently employed and protecting Ascor's father are your former employers and murderers.
Yeah. That's knowledge to everyone here as well, right?
Yes, but certainly in the moment, given what happened, probably with a fairly painful feeling in your chest
Yeah.
of the stab wound, it would be forefront of your mind.
Yeah. It was. Oh, but Ascor, I guess one thing that does unnerve me about your father, I'm sorry, I've never really followed the politics of Amon very closely, but I do know that he's working with Kari and probably other members of the clasp. So if he's gone to them for protection, maybe there's already been attempts on his life, and us trying to kill him could be us going into the, belly of the beast in a way, but also, maybe having someone who's on the tal'dorei council who doesn't associate with the clasp could be really good for the city.
I mean, the fact he associates with the clasp is big enough red flag without having to kill his own son, you know? Heinrich is a bad guy.
Sure. Hold on. It's just that it makes things more complicated.
Does it?
Aku's right. We can't just wait in there and cut the flower off the. I don't know, Aku. What would you say? What metaphor would you use? Cut the flower off the plant? I don't know.
Maybe we don't need to kill him. I think what we could do, we take the soul back to the Council of tal'dorei. We return Hannah to the world of the living. We have Vox Machina on our side already. They like us, they trust us. We tell them, quite simply, about Heinrich, about what he's done. We tell the truth, guys. We tell them that he's in league with the clasp, that neither of these people are fit to win the election. We tell them what we know about Sifrina. We get them both done. And Ascor, you're the guy that did it, that solved it. And you just suggest that you pick up where your father left off, make it all known publicly, wipe the slate. Or maybe you don't, but what if we just told the truth and didn't murder anyone?
I just want to just make a point that before we talk about going to the authorities and laying all of our plans and truths on the table, we are a group of people, two of us who are assumed dead, who are very wanted by the clasp, one person who is wanted by the authorities, Zug. That hasn't really been sorted yet, and Ascor's situation, which is difficult. I mean, how could we possibly go in there knowing that there wouldn't be informants, people that could talk to Askor's father, to the clasp, to many different people which would be endangering our lives.
Trust Vox Machina. We go through them. Some of them are on the council, aren't they?
But can we trust them?
You
We
told.
can't trust them.
Oh wait, that's
We
meta.
can't
isn't it?
trust them. He looks to Barnes. We don't know. And Askel stands up and
Well, who
sort of
can you
clearly
trust?
bothered, holding his head, sort of does a little kind of back and forth in front of his chair.
Guys, I know you've encountered a lot. You're in a lot of trouble. But I think saving Hannah Wasserman, this is our chance to wipe a lot of slates clean, reset a lot
Yeah.
of bad shit for you guys. I know
Barnes
it's
is right.
rough, but we've just done a great service to the city.
We're the
You're
nice
not wrong,
boys.
Barnes. Zug, we are. But you're not wrong, Barnes.
This our
It's a
redemption.
card we have. We don't have to play it right away. We can find out more. We can talk to this Hannah Wasserman. God, I hate that name. We could talk to her and find
Right.
out something. Anything.
Right.
And of course, we can pursue that road when it's auspicious to do so. But at the moment, we're just poking our heads above the parapets. We don't know who's aiming at us right now when we do so.
We want
Yeah.
more information. Go on, Hayden.
I was just gonna say, your idea sounded kind of good at first, but then I thought, well, once it becomes wide knowledge that we're the ones who solved the mystery and saved Hannah, yay! Like, that would kind of put a target on our backs.
Maybe we don't. Maybe we'd say, don't make it known publicly, but council, you know. You know? But
Somebody
guys,
knows.
if you want to learn more, we can learn more. We have Hannah here. We can investigate Cecil for Tom. There's Siegfried and below Amon. There's a lot, but I just think if we want to resolve immediate problems, we have a lot of options. And it might require a gamble or two, but I think these are actually really good options that we have. And what we've just done here, it's actually a good thing. So, you know, feel good about it. This isn't doom and gloom. We should be celebrating, actually. And he
I do feel good.
claps his hands
Yes.
and
Yes, master.
I believe I asked for drinks.
Yes, of course, on the way. You kind of sees the tray come out, and there are many trays. Some of the liquid is slightly too red. Some, however, is clearly, obviously red wine.
I think it's the wine we'll be having.
Of
That's not
course.
strawberry juice, is it?
Well, it's whatever you desire, master.
Take some strawberry juice, thank you.
Of course. I have handed up. It kind of gives it around to all of you. And the wine, pretty damn good. However, everything you kind of have eaten or drinking so far, maybe not eaten, drinking, doesn't seem to fill. There is some effect that it's nice, it tastes good, because it isn't probably giving you a significant amount of substance, sustenance compared to something else. Everything here is very magical.
As
I know-
one
I
of
know it
the
does
It
that.
does feed you, doesn't it?
Does it? Am I wrong?
Yeah, it specifies there's sufficient food to serve a 9-course banquet for up to 100 people.
Ignore me entirely. The wine is as real as anything else here. It has been magically conjured, but it's real, and you're more than welcome to get drunk off it too.
If anything, you just die of just overeating.
Yeah, fair enough. I think it's when they tried to magically summon a cow, and the cow wasn't real, and I've made that into
Yeah,
like
yeah,
food's
if you
not real either. Yeah.
If you take stuff out the mansion, it disappears, but everything in the mansion is real temporarily.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So yeah,
As one of the imps is passing out the wine,
wine, sir.
it gets a little bit too close to Aku, and he takes the glass and tentatively like boots it with his sort of like.
As you kick it, it kind of falls over and rolls and kind of looks back at you and goes, "An honor to serve the master." It kind of like limps a little bit away.
Lance looks at this interaction and goes, are you okay, buddy? You good?
Of course, anything.
He looks
Pretty
crazy.
disgusted at the fact that the imp seemed to have enjoyed that.
Don't judge.
Oh boy.
And the imps kind of bring out small little small little dumplings filled with various meats, as well as other kind of snacks, canapes, small little treats to kind of put on the table, chocolates and everything as well. It's a bit of a mishmash. They don't seem to quite know. They seem to have just brought out everything, main course, starter, and dessert all at the same time. Sweet, sweet, savory, sour, everything thrown in. It's an odd mix, but clearly they're incredibly eager to please. They are slightly disconcerting.
Hence, we don't
Yes.
serve dinner in the strategy room. Future going
Aye.
forward.
Oh,
What
Master,
is
we
this?
forgot. Please forgive us. We'll take it now. Bye. Sorry.
No, do not take it. This is fine for now, but I don't want shit on my maps.
Maps.
I need to
The
ponder.
maps. Oh shit! And, like they run out and they run back in carrying like large parchments of paper with pre-calamity maps. And
They're
you
probably
see-
like maps of the hells and the abyss
Yeah,
as well, with like
that's-
markers on them.
Pretty much, you know, you got each one of the layers, and then each one of the weak points to the joints towards the abyss, and kind of, you know, sites of major battles, with kind of dates and numbers that go into the millions on the side that you perhaps don't want to know the reason behind.
Thank you.
Just
Great.
just a little word. If Ascor was able to drink anything, he'd be drinking something probably called this.
That's so on point for your character.
Oh, Magic Rock Brewing's really good.
Great. Thank you, imps.
Anything. If you could, I don't know, maybe if you can. One of them seems to walk out, we'll begin to get the whip ready. And the door slams.
Oh, guys, why did they talk about whips and shit?
They're your pets.
Why
Like-
did my subconscious make whip imps?
Like father, like son, right?
Wimps.
I'm not a
Wimps.
whips kind of guy, Hayden. I'm flattered to think I might be, but
I mean,
quite wholesome. I'm a holding hands on the beach sort of man. Picnics, like with Silas earlier.
okay. Should we talk to Hannah?
Let's talk to
I feel like
Hannah.
she's just kind of just sitting here on the table. It's kind of
Right, poor Hannah.
okay.
Do we just leave her on the table?
Can we project this? Maybe ask her. Can you, like, ferry the conversation to the rest of us or something? Or mind link it?
like a group chat.
Like a group chat?
It's a group chat.
Not a group. Actually, in fact, did I make that change? Bear with us, dear friends. Stay
I
green,
can.
stay sane.
Oh,
Okay.
Aku can make a group chat. True.
No, I didn't.
Yo, Aku make the group chat.
Actually, that's not true. I can talk within. No, So I can speak to everyone, and everyone can then speak out loud. But I can't like put everyone else in there with Hannah Westman, right?
Hmm.
Yes, I think so. For the sake of clarity, yes.
Okay, well. For the sake of not having to re-explain it, just somebody, whoever's doing it, confer the information.
Yeah, so can anybody who just can speak just say what's
Right,
going on?
right. Go for it, boys.
I do it. I guess.
Well, someone has to.
Do it.
Hey, here we go, and he's going to reach out and touch the cage and say, "Hey, Hannah, you in there?"
There's no response, but the little kind of purple darting thing inside is frozen still upon your touch.
Oh god, guys, did I kill her? So was I not meant to put her in my bag? Did I fuck up?
No, just. Why is
Wait,
she not
you killed her?
replying?
She's not replying and the thing's not moving, so...
Well, I mean.
And he
it's
gives a little
probably-
shake.
Oh, don't shake her! Don't shake the soul cage!
As you shake it, it's
Hayden.
like the soul just remains completely still in the center. Like,
Oh
moving.
no, I've killed Hannah Wasserman!
She's not a milkshake! Leave her alone.
We finally rescued her and I fucking killed her by putting her in a bag of holding. What have I done?
Does that kill people? Does that
No.
kill
It's like-
people? Barnes, does that
You
kill
can't kill
people?
souls.
There's no air in there!
Those
can't-
are
Yeah,
like
but she's a
carbonated
soul.
drinks. You shake them and then they'll
Yeah, but I don't know
explode
if
when
his
you let
soul
them
needs to
out.
breathe.
Why would a soul need to breathe? It doesn't have
Why would it not need to breathe?
bits. It's like bits and
Probably-
flesh and blood.
Probably
Oh,
shy. She's
God.
probably shy. She's been through a traumatic experience. I mean, that's been probably. Well, look at him. He's been stuck in a soul cage for a while, and he's a mess.
True.
She's probably a bit of a mess.
Yeah, like, you don't even know what it's like in there. In fact, you should ask her.
Right.
Well, I just tried. Here, you try. And he's gonna shove the soul cage over to Zug.
He just holds it, kind of like confused. Like, hello, Miss Wasserman. I am Zug. I, formerly member of Amon's Town Guard, now member of the Nice Boys, also known as the Spice Boys. We've been somewhat investigating your murder, disappearance. Hello, are you in there?
Yes. But every
kinda
question I
jumps a
grow,
bit.
every question I grow weaker.
Oh shit.
She says every question she grows weaker.
Shit. Of course. Guys, how could I forget? Vastman told me this soul cage, right? You have like a set number of questions you can ask. How many?
Why have you given
Okay.
this to me? He's
Okay,
just kind of
so
like
we need to figure
outstretched
it out.
across.
Look, that was one just there. Hayden, what did you ask her earlier?
Can we not get her out the cage?
I didn't. I asked her, "Are you Hannah?" And she said, "Yeah."
Okay,
So
that's
that
one,
was
two.
that was one question.
Okay, so we have two down. Guys, she'll dissipate if we just keep asking her shit. So we do need to be careful.
Well, why don't we just resurrect her then, and we can
Okay,
ask
we
her when
should-
she's alive.
Tell her, just be like, Hannah, we're going to resurrect you, but we don't want to obliterate your soul. So just hang tight, sis.
Well,
He is like still holding the soul cage with his hands out. You tell her.
Sure.
We're gonna help you. Don't say anything, or even think about answering any questions. Don't answer anything. You have a right to an attorney. Then he kind of puts it down.
What, like a spiritual attorney?
I don't know. He's just, I panicked.
Okay, all right. Let's not fuck about with Hannah.
okay, so maybe we sleep on it, and then in the morning we take her to the tal'dorei Council and get her resurrected, and then
Keep it under wraps with them for now. Let's not be too forthcoming. Let's be reserved with our plans. Tell them we have further information, would like to continue to investigate all that. Keep doors open. Try not to close too many.
yeah.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Everybody, hold on. We could ask her how many questions she thinks we can ask. It's a waste of a question, I get it. But then we know. And we can present her to the council, having asked all but one, if she knows. If she doesn't know, then we hand her in all the same, no risks. But if she does know how many questions, I think we should ask. All but one.
Yes, that's a good idea.
Wait,
Yeah,
why are
right.
we doing that?
I rolled pretty high on the soul cage. Do I know what the question limiter is?
Yeah, you know it's 6.
Alright, well, it's maximum of 6, at which point the soul is...
Well, we don't know how many questions she was asked before we got this.
Shit. That's a good point.
We could say something like, how many questions do you have left, but don't answer if it's only one.
But she might not know. She might
Yeah.
not remember. She might get it wrong. It's a... Well...
Anybody with the identify spell may know that this is the kind of spell that may give us some kind of inklings towards such things. But if they don't know, then they don't know.
They don't know.
Rashabel had that spell.
I considered taking it this level, but didn't.
I
Better
think
fall.
I think it's a gamble, boys. We could try, but...
We're kind of toying with someone's life.
It does feel a bit... fringe.
Yeah, like, we've gone through all this effort to try to save her life, and now we're just gonna be like, oh, we're gonna kill you because we're curious. Like, maybe we should just do the right thing for once. Hand her in.
Good opportunity to morally rectify ourselves, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Look, we spoke earlier. We don't know if handing her in right now is the right thing to do. We know we want to, but things are just so complicated. Maybe it's not right to do.
Well,
I
maybe.
think
It
that we
doesn't
could
seem
sit
right.
with what ifs and maybes for a very long time, boys.
well, one thing to keep in mind is that if she comes back, she was planning on endorsing your father, Ascor, and if you're still planning on killing your father, then that would just put you next in line as his successor, right? So you can still do all that stuff, but leave Hannah out of it and let her go retire in the countryside with her grandchildren or whatever her plan was.
It's making assumptions. If she's endorsing my father, maybe she's in on it.
Isn't Vox Machina and the Council of tal'dorei going to endorse the person that saved her? I mean, whoever we say that we want that to be, if we say, actually, Ascor is going to run for
Yes.
office, given all this shady shit about Heinrich, it's
It-
done.
Also, we don't know why Hannah was gonna endorse your father. Like, maybe
Mhm.
he had some blackmail on her or was threatening her. So she could
It's
maybe
important
change
to
that.
know these things. I feel like it's not afraid to risk asking how many questions there are.
What if
It's
it's the
only
last
one.
one? What if that is the last one? We've asked
What
two.
did she say? Zug, what did she say? Exact words.
She just said that she hasn't got many questions. Or well, she said, each question I answer, I grow weaker. Or something along those lines. I
We've
don't
wasted
remember the exact
two.
words.
Chances are.
I
Surely
think
she would have said, please, no more questions. I'll die. Something. I don't know.
kind of what she said.
But none of us do.
I can't imagine anything that we're gonna ask her now that's gonna make us decide that we're not gonna bring her back.
I agree.
Well, look, I just think it makes sense if we at least found out who killed her. Maybe she knows.
But we could also find that out
Maybe
after we bring her
It was
back.
my
Distracted.
father.
It probably. Well, no, it was Silfrena. Silfrena cast the soul cage at the very least. She trapped Hannah. And to do that, she needed to have been there and present at the time.
We know she cast a spell.
We do. We found the soul cage thing. And she had the soul cage herself. We found the scroll for the spell in Hannah's belongings in the safe, and the soul cage beneath her table. I
I'll
mean,
be
it's
honest.
circumstantial, sure,
I'm
but
more suspicious of her number 2 than I am of her.
she's not a spellcaster. She's a pirate with a sword.
Hey, look,
Maybe
if she's in
she's a-
league with you know whatever, then it's possible.
Maybe, but under her own table, the magic woman, I don't think there's any conceivable way that she didn't do this.
If we bring her back, she's endorsing my father.
Honestly, she's not endorsing anyone when we tell the tal'dorei Council that Heinrich's in league with the clasp. Like,
We don't know if anybody in the tal'dorei Council is in league with the clasp.
okay, then we tell the people we're going circularly. Let's think about this because we could talk about this in circles for hours, and that's not fun for any of us.
It is what we tend to do.
That's why all I'm saying, one question could break the circle.
Ask her if you want Hannah and her life on your hands. Go on, ask her. Who killed him? Who killed her? You can do it.
I suppose I'm just like. If she wanted to live, she would have said. She would have made it clear.
You're so certain, then do it.
I'm gonna do it.
Do it.
DM.
Do it.
Do it.
Ascor, DM Ascor is gonna making its way downtown to the cage of Force cage.
Yeah.
And he's gonna lift it up. He's simply gonna. He opens his mouth and goes, Wait, Barnes. How does this work? If I ask a question, it's not gonna be some cryptic crossword back or how? Look, I
Barnes?
want to ask her, does she know who killed her and who? Is that gonna break the circle, or do you know what I mean?
Oh, you were
That's
gonna
the
ask how many
question.
questions are left.
Well, to be
I
honest,
want to ask her how many questions are left, and if she knows, that's what I want to ask her.
just ask the question. The one question's going to break the cycle. Don't waste with two. Just do it. Listen, and Bonds thinks back to a pleasant afternoon tea with Vespin Chloris, and he recites. You ask the soul a question and receive a brief telepathic answer, which you can understand regardless of the language used. The soul knows only what it knew in life, but it must answer you truthfully and to the best of its ability. The answer is to be no more than a sentence or two, and it might be cryptic. Straight from the
Father,
knowledge banks of Mr.
who
Chloris
art
himself.
thou in heaven? Cool. Askell looks back to the cage, takes it with two hands, almost apprehensively, and just prepares, looks. How large is the cage, DM? A foot? Or...
How large is the cage? Tiny. Like, well, tiny relatively. It's a couple of inches.
Then he holds it as if a man who would hold a bespoke branded hairspray for specifically for his own hair texture, and would hold it aloft as such and go, "So, Freyna, who did this? Who killed you?"
I thought we could ask how many questions she had left.
No, that's stupid, Zog. We can't do that.
I was poisoned. I believe I collapsed after eating my last meal. I believe was with a member of the Silvercut Crossroads conglomerate. We were meeting to discuss new shipping routes and how they were going to expand. I don't know if it was him. Saras was his name.
Hmm?
Saras.
How do you spell that, DM?
Seras.
I don't know.
The mala mayonnaise.
Do any of us know who Saras is?
Make history checks.
Alright, cool. I'm going to ask you
15.
some that again, DM, just to recap, but yeah.
15?
It's a roll. Ooh, it's a good roll again. That is 25.
25. Jesus. Okay, yeah. So both of you will have heard, or like 25, you will know the Silvercut conglomerate. You will know that they broadly run the Silvercut Crossroads. They're in charge. They've got the charter. There's no democracy. Very much a mercantile town, just in charge. Their leadership is very much that of a guild. This is what information you'll have, Hayden, from living there, and you'll. Why is my keyboard broken? This is the problem with. So my camera works and then my mic works now, but now my keyboard's broken.
Oh no.
Why my notes are always after session. Sorry. Sorry, try not open it.
That's okay. The suspense.
The suspense.
difficulties.
Saras Valdez is the leader of a segment. He's not the whole leader of the entire Silvercut Crossroads conglomerate. However, he is in charge of their routes, specifically going to Imon, back to the Silvercut Crossroads, specializing in magical objects. Those of anything from +1 swords, moon touch weapons, to higher and higher and higher scaling upwards. Once it achieves a typical value, it might get passed to the guild master overall. This is information, so you will know that there is a man called Ceres Valdez. Hayden, Ascor, you will know that some of this, he's not the one your family would have ever dealt with directly, but he would have occasionally had to oversee things. Maybe for some reason, some mage has paid a lot for an item to be transported alongside a lot of the materials from Craghammer, as well as Kymel that your family needed. It was a relatively sticking point, annoyingly, because magical items require a significant amount more of paperwork, one that your father was never happy doing, and obviously with your father's general attitude toward mages, whenever one special requirements needed to be making for transporting one alongside much more easier goods, it would send him into a bit of, not a rage, but anger flared.
Well, ask her. What did she say?
Nothing. She didn't say anything. No, I'm joking.
Oh, you had me in the first half.
Yeah, what were the exact words, if we can recap it?
So that she didn't know who killed her. She believed she was poisoned, but her last dinner was with Ceres Valdez at the Silver Cut Emporium.
I reiterate.
Another name to investigate.
What? She was poisoned. Why would Sylphrena have her soul?
When you cast Soul Cage, you need to... Let me think back. You need to be there. You need to see it. You need to be within quite a short range. Like, I don't know, 50,
Yeah,
60 feet. You need to be close. She had to have been at that dinner.
She would have had to have been at the Silver Crossroads.
Possible.
Barnes,
I mean,
is it possible
were
for
at-
somebody... Zug,
We,
say your piece.
I was just saying, we were at the Silver Crossroads.
Did you kill Sylphrena?
Not that
Not
I
Sylphrena.
can't.
Hannah Wasserman.
I don't. I definitely didn't kill
Was you?
Sylphrena. Oh, I don't think so.
I mean,
Sure.
Zug has a point, though, because we were also at the Silver Crossroads, and we nearly got framed at one
When
point.
she died?
Well, no, that was how we managed to get out of it, because we were in the Underdark when she died. But...
Yeah, we left just before. Which is,
Difficult
you
to
know,
say. She does have a very detestable name. Maybe somebody should just kick her out.
Did any of the documents be found? And like Hayden having forged this would remember point to Sylphrena having been in the Silver Crossroads.
Well, you remember that she had the guard posting / security arrangements
yeah.
around one of the inns of the Silvercut Crossroads. If you remember, that would have
okay.
presumably been where Hannah was staying, possibly.
Right, okay.
And do we know which inn this was, dear?
I believe you do indeed.
Gentlemen, you know, I'm not sure we actually have the
Yeah.
full resources to investigate this fully. I think the council just seems like the move.
I think Barnes is correct.
The-
We
was
should
it the four-
escalate this.
The Four Thieves, I think I said? Yeah, the Four Thieves.
Poor thieves.
I mean, best case scenario exonerates us.
Exonerate!
Well,
So-
Are we
you know,
suspected?
Good word.
Zug, don't bring the tone down.
I don't mean that. I mean, as in, it could, help with our current predicament. Well, at least mine.
We could do with some brownie points, couldn't we?
Oh, I
Yeah.
definitely could.
Hold on.
I-
Zug, that's
I-
a great idea.
Huh?
Zug, listen to me. And he walks towards Zug and
I'm
holds him
listening.
by both cheeks and looks him in the eyes and goes, "You are undercover. A
Uh-huh.
secret mission. That's
Yes.
where you were. It's perfect."
I would. I need some more context. What do you mean?
You're the Watch. Your mutiny, your whatever you call it. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, that was already the alibi,
Explanation.
but you know, I was hoping they wouldn't question it too much because it has to be a
All
paper
I'm
trail for these
saying
kinds of
is
things.
when we hand over Wasserman, it's
Yes.
perfect.
Sure. However we want to spin it. I think we could say a lot of things when we hand it over, like, Zug, you were investigating it undercover, you believed you had a lead and you followed it. We have other things that we want to investigate, so we don't want to pull a trigger yet, but we felt it was important she'd be returned to life in her body. Get herself some brownie points and continue to investigate Cecil, Sarah's, whoever, whatever, on the sly. No public announcements yet. Keep doors open, but let's get the soul of a dead woman out of our bags of holding.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the longer we keep her without saying anything, the worse it looks. Let's be
Pretty
real.
bad, right? Yeah.
Listen, nobody knows that's the case. Only person who could work it out is, well, Safrena.
Anna. Well, that's the other thing. If she discovers all her shit stolen, it does not behoove us to sit on this for a long time, given how often we were at her ship the day everything went missing.
We really feel like that we need to move fast on this one.
Tomorrow morning, first thing, let's get Vox Machina in the council. Whoever we know from it, from them.
Yeah.
Make the move.
We just saw Grog again recently, actually, so he remembered us.
That's true.
So hopefully we can see him again and...
Yeah, Grog
Well-
likes me. I could talk to him.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. That guy's got a single brain cell between. He's got
Hey,
half
he's-
a brain cell.
He's not. He's smarter than he looks. He's actually quite good at dice.
It isn't like the
I would-
Battle Master or something. Vex. I don't know. She was on a poster. The other one. But Vexalia, is that right?
Rosalia, yeah.
Do you know her?
Well, kind of. We met her and Percival DeRollo when kind of got accused of killing Hannah, but then we were cleared, so...
Great.
Exonerated.
So you have prior examples of being hot on the trail and related to the case, so it'll be a relevant thing to call back on.
Well, we kind of told them we had no idea she'd been killed. I think.
Well, you were in the Underdark. Fair's fair.
Well, but we could say that we started investigating that as soon
After
as we
that,
found out.
Right. Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Sure.
I mean,
Or
I'm
we
not
could
going to
just
be
tell
there,
the
though.
truth and be like, guys, you know.
we were
we
thinking
found
about
this
killing
shit.
Asgore's dad.
We could actually tell the truth and be like, you know, we were worried about the bombing at the rally that we saved the city from, and we investigated further, and the trail led us to this, which is totally true. Zero lies.
Yeah,
and,
that's
you
a
know,
better spin on it.
Yeah.
All right, as long as we have a plan for what to do and what to do quickly with Heinrich, because if that gets out and the council's a council, that's a few people right there. If it gets out,
Firm
it's pretty
secrecy.
much a done deal who's going to win that election.
Well, agreed, but I think we can then move carefully about the clasp, about Heinrich, about what we tell, you know. Let's make sure they keep it secret, and we can talk about this when we have a bit more contact with Cecil.
After,
And have
what
a
do you
plan
think?
for Heinrich.
I don't know if we can trust Vox Machina. And this is coming from somebody that probably doesn't have a very good knowledge of Vox Machina, like the history and stuff. Like, I mean,
Pretty
of
far
course,
away
like,
from all of them, yeah.
we've met some of them, but like he seems really skeptical that we should be telling any group of people in him on the whole of our story.
Asgore feels probably in the way he sort of turns around and looks at everyone else and sort of raises his eyebrows, feels probably, you can tell, a little bit dissatisfied, but also a little bit vindicated.
Stand your misgivings, but I'm not from this time, guys. It's your call. It's not my world. I'm just involved in it, but we have a dead woman on our table, and I think we should do something about that. And we don't have to tell them everything, guys. Just, you know, we need to do something.
Well, if that's the case, you guys should do the talking.
Well,
If
I'm
you're worried
dead.
about what you say, then ask her
What do
if
you
you want
mean?
to leave it.
What do you
Leave
mean
it.
you're dead?
Well, legally, or technically, or I need to be dead, and Aku as well. So this is going to be something that you three are going to have to present.
Where you guys are in disguise. I think we should do this in a sneaky back room, but like.
Oh, okay. I was imagining like walking up to like the government hall and
No, guys, this is not. We can walk into the government hall with some of you in disguise and be like, guys, we have urgent news. We need to talk.
Okay.
And then, or just get Vox Machina somewhere quiet because if they're on the council, you know, I can invite them here. Actually, do you know, I don't think I want them here. I don't think they should see this.
Yeah, it is a bit.
Bit much.
Yeah.
I
It's a
have a
bit
lot of
much.
questions, but I'm
Same.
not gonna ask them. I know that you're suffering with memory loss, so I know that I really don't know.
Whatever you're thinking, I'm also thinking, and believe you me, I'm not happy about it, and I desperately want to go and see Vaspin Chloris and get him resolved, because this.
Oh, at least you
It's a
got lots
lot.
of stuff to ask about next time you see him.
Yeah.
Yep, no shortage there.
Silver
Okay.
linings.
Guys, let's. Good chat. Should we sleep? Rest. Tomorrow
Definitely.
morning.
It's
Any
time.
builds, ideas, specifics? Let's think about it while we rest.
Yeah.
I've got rooms for you.
You guys think it's okay to put this back in my bag? I don't know, and he'll reach out and grab the soul cage. It's fine that there's no air in there, right?
Yeah, she doesn't breathe. She's a soul.
She's a soul.
Put it in my bag of holding.
Oh, I just thought I heard her choke. Oh.
Fuck! He pulls her back out.
I'm kidding. It's fine, Hayden.
You're a bastard. Puts her back in the
Yep.
bag.
Okay. As you all go off to your rooms, Barnes, do you want to describe the rooms in general people find themselves in? Or
Well, there's a bit of a tour. So obviously, we have a whole mansion that's fancy as all hell. And Zug, your room continues the theme of these furnishings. For you in particular, though, there's a kind of inset kitchenette kind of thing. It reminds you of a black polished stone, inside of which, again, is a monolithic, statuesque fridge, tall and large with filigreed inlays for the handle.
His eyes just light up.
Hans indicates also to cupboards, and you see jars and jars of mayonnaise. A doorway to the side in this room hints perhaps to a training ground, and Barnes says, well, I felt sort of bad about giving Acid Talus my fridge. I know you loved it, so here's a fridge for you.
It's no big deal, but thank you.
And if you want to fight things, there's a devil on hand at all times to scrap with. You know, since you seemed to enjoy it earlier with Cole Korak, do an illusory version of him. But yeah, enjoy this one. Let me know if you want anything else in here, because next time I cast this, I can just give you guys whatever the hell you want. So,
Wow.
this is my best guess. And
Wait a minute. Like what? Like
anything. Let's
magical
anything.
items?
Well, it'll disappear when the mansion folds in on itself when we leave. But for now, it's all real. So,
Well, what about a grand? I don't know. A grand magical item that leaves some kind of permanent, forever lasting impact in our. This is hands up on our abilities.
No, I can't do that. No lasting effects, I'm afraid, other than food and sleep. But Ascor, for you, your room has a very large portrait of yourself, in which you are sat in the high table seat in which we met Heinrichen at the dinner party. Your room is incredibly similar to the furnishings of the Galvadane estate. It's all polished, it's all perfect. There seems to be the likes of a walk-in wardrobe, inside of which you are surprised to see a fleet of maybe like tasteful modern homeware to enjoy inside the mansion. You got slippers, you got silk dressing gowns, everything looks crisp, high thread count, nice and tasteful. He's been inside your house, so he's tried to give you a bit of home, but make it all about you.
Asco was just very simple in his gratitude, like, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, Aku. So, I have something a bit different for you. And you enter to find what is a thick, grown forest-like garden. It's a place of peace and nature, trees as tall as the giant greenhouse-like glass allows it, through which you can see a bright, warm summer sky. And Bond says, sorry I can't make it actually outdoors in here, but I've sort of tried to mimic the effects. And you've got like a breeze blowing, and to you this space feels incredibly natural. And in the center, there's a kind of very earthy living space, roofless, open air, comfortable wooden furnishings, kind of half engulfed by nature, but no less kind of pleasant. It's comfortable, and it's sort of like, it doesn't feel overdone. It just feels quite simple, but nice. If you close your eyes, you feel close to nature. Yeah, bit of open air, bit of peace for you, I thought. Yeah. I mean, if you want anything else, any different flowers or plants, or like a weed space, just let me know. And Hayden, your room is right next door. And he shows you to yours, Hayden. So it's a little smaller, a little more intimate, actually. And Barnes says, to be honest, I didn't want to overwhelm you with open space. I thought actually something a little tighter and comfier and cozier would feel good, a bit more secure. It has a nook in it, decorated like Roman's house and Rosanna, to which Barnes nods and says, I thought I'd add a little taste of your family, developing family, your father here. There are scrolls, books, and study aids for a mind that Bonds has noticed to be quite keenly adept at magic and maybe learning and developing. The room's practical, but yeah, it's really, really comfy, as though painstaking care has gone into making it seem like it's the safest place in the world to you. So, yeah.
This is really nice of you, Barnes. Thank you. Realize you paid that much attention. Really perceptive.
I pay attention to everyone, Hayden. It's my job. My job's to know people better than they know themselves, so.
Yeah, it's kind of like you're paying attention to everyone else. But that's, this is nice, thank you.
Hayden, after what you've been through, if anything, I'm paying more attention to you. Hang in there, buddy. Give your shoulder a little squeeze.
Thanks. What's your room look like?
Huh. I didn't think about mine. At all, actually. Should we go find out?
Yeah.
And he'll push the handle on his door. And it's actually very plain. There's a large bed in it, and it almost feels as though the room is kind of half and half. To the side, it looks like it's more of a kind of wizard study. There's papers everywhere, piles and piles, books, necromancy, infernal contracts, a really, really nerdy section of the room. And it doesn't look organized at all. And to the other side, it's a little crisper, polished mirrors, well sort of organized books, therapy books, etc. And it's kind of either side of a large double bed. And on maybe one of the dressers, you note, to you, like miniaturized, very realistic paintings of Barnes and Vespin Chloris. And they just seem to be kind of like casually posing and looking out at the painter, or I don't know, it's kind of weird. It's almost very, very lifelike. And Barnes kind of frowns at them and like squints, and they pop and disappear. And very quickly they flicker back and he frowns, pops away again. And he just... Well, I have no idea what's going on in my subconscious.
That's all correct. That's all there. One of your eye bands on one of your stands by the one of the bed stands, there is a singular, very bright crimson envelope. which you may or may not react to as if it was supposed to be there or not, but it is sealed.
And I have a letter. Hayden, I don't know if anyone else is. Did anyone else come with for the grand tour of the rooms? But you kind of just hang out in yours.
No,
Zug,
no,
have-
I've followed around.
Zug's followed and he's holding a jar of mayonnaise and just eating out of it.
Well, I'm glad I can get rid of the smell of mayonnaise from my sheets. Oh, well, you guys know everything anyway that I know. He's gonna open the letter.
Opening the letter, in falls out. There's like a little weight to it, and kind of rolls out is a very bright and shiny obsidian pebble, with a small trail of white smoke coming out of it. And as you kind of look inside, there's like a white piece of paper that as you flick up, there's text on there that is ever so slightly smoking. And as it says, a welcome home gift and a small reward for a job well done. Sorry, a small reward for a seal well weakened and a job well done. And in smaller font it says, didn't realize that was you. Bravo.
Boys.
Um,
Boys. Wait! He thinks that I purposefully did it. No, this is so good. He doesn't know everything at all. Okay.
who's he?
This is probably from Asmodeus, probably. Yes, almost certainly.
Oh,
Okay.
who's he?
Probably.
A friend?
Um,
Mm.
he's the one that the seal is the one that's keeping him from coming to this world, right?
Yeah, that'll be the Divine Gate, the tree that we fucked with on the way out. That'll be that. I'm going to visit Vespin tomorrow.
Probably update Essek and Roman about this as well.
Right. Yes. I think higher priority needs to be placed on their solving it, and I want Vespin fixed to help because. And his eyes kind of like trail over to the wizard's study. Well, he was really good at his job, so. What's this up? This pebble?
You flip it over, and there's kind of like a small indent in it that's got kind of wispy, very white gas smoke in it. It's kind of a central coalescing point around a lot of things. And instinctly, you have to stop yourself drinking it.
Oh, it's like a little drink in a pebble?
Yeah.
I have no idea what this does, but this is not. We are not. Just gonna put it on his bedside. Jeez. Jeez. How cheerful.
So there's a picture of you in the foyer that's like sort of general, looking over a war field of demons fighting, and Asmodeus is your buddy, and Vespen's your buddy, and
Vespin killed me, and he said he did it to protect me from something.
why would killing someone protect someone?
Well, I suppose if they were involved in something way over their heads. Which, I'm a therapist, not a war general, so that sort of qualifies. I don't know about battles and maps and shit. I mean, I give a good speech, right?
You do give a great speech,
I
yes.
give a great speech.
Mm.
Well, guys, on the plus side, you're going to save tal'dorei's council by saving Hannah Wasserman. Your lives are great. All will be sorted. You don't need to worry about the clasp. All is good. I'll worry about me. I don't think you need to worry about me because clearly Asmodeus thinks I'm doing a great job at whatever it is I've accidentally done.
Well, kind of do need to worry about you because you're part of the group.
Oh. Well, no, you don't need to take my burdens as your own. It's fine. I'll handle it.
Do that for us.
That's my job, though.
Yeah, what's our job? Just to sit and let you do that?
I'm a professional fixer. I enjoy it. I mean, I don't want you guys involved with like the Lord of the Nine Hells and all this crazy shit. But you know,
Well, I don't know if we have much of a choice in whether we're involved in that or not. So
no, you'll be fine. Listen, you're a bit involved with Aspen, but you know, he's a collective want of Orcus fallout. But whether or not Asmodeus disintegrates me the second he realizes I'm useless, can't remember shit, and really don't have any intention of being an evil whatever, well, look, that sucks for me, but it's not like I have much of a life here I'd be leaving behind, so.
Oh, don't say that. I'd miss you.
Thanks.
Anytime.
It's really nice to hear, Zug. I didn't mean to bring down the mood.
No, you haven't. We don't want that to happen to you. Or at least I don't. So keep us updated as you remember stuff and see if we can help you get out of this. Like, we've managed to get out of a attunement to one of Orcus's, things, so maybe we can get you out of whatever deal you've got going on with Asmodeus, right?
Right. If it's a contract, I mean, maybe death breaks it.
Oscar, here's an expert lawyer. He can find a loophole.
Right, we need some contract lawyers on this.
Look, I can try, so I can... Wait, am I in the room?
Yeah,
let's say you were.
It around.
I can only try.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to go find myself some fake magical whiskey. And explore the rest of the house, I guess. Thank you, guys. A lot. Very much so. I appreciate it. It's, I sort of dropped in on you guys, or rather, sprung up on you guys. I suppose I sprung out of the ground. So it'd be well within your rights to just be like, no, this is, not our problem. So the fact that you haven't, yeah, I'm grateful.
Welcome, buddy.
Kind of puts his hand on Barnes's very poofy shoulder. And his hand kind of like sinks down into the...
with a little bit of a as the head deflates. Like...
oh, sorry. It takes it off.
No, sure.
We're in this together, so.
Yeah. Well, least I can do is take requests for your rooms, so leave some notes and I'll pick it up for next time. Also, they can be like succubuses and incubuses and stuff if you don't want imps, so.
The imps are fine. They're cute.
They're sort of cute, aren't they?
It's
kind of endearing. Well, anyway, guys, help yourself, do anything and everything.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Okay. Bed. Go to tal'dorei Council.
Okay. As you guys separate out, ready to make your way to the tal'dorei Council tomorrow, each of you reflecting on a successful, if stressful day. It's nice, for once, to have options. You still have a lot of problems. You're a step closer to solving some of them, and rather than wondering how the hell you're going to do what to do with any of them, you have multiple avenues by which to solve some of the problems you're facing. And for some of you, the idea of going legit, as it were, actually talking to people in authority, is a relieving, exciting prospect. The idea that somebody somewhere will handle this and you've done your part. Others of you maybe the flames of ambition still rise. There's more that could be done. Barnes, there's less worry than there probably should be. Something about junior friends, even this place. It's nice, that little conversation with Hayden and the rest of them, to know that people are trying to help, even if you have summoned an Asmodeus Palace. And he's leaving you little greeting cards saying you're doing a great job. Sleep comes fairly easily, except for the occasional little pitter patter of tiny imps and stuff running past, and you hear kind of, yeah, don't kick me, outside your door. Don't disturb them. However, one by one, you all drift off. Zug. Dreams have been different for you of late, and by different I mean non-existent. Clearly, whatever power in the ring long ago is worn. It's never really. Zug isn't one to worry about problems, and if something isn't happening, it kind of goes beneath his notice. You haven't dreamt really since you put on the ring, so it's a bit of a shock as you find yourself where you were many, 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 many months ago, standing by the airship that crashed, that you were part of. You see yourself, you can vaguely make out the details. You look around, you see some of the weapons that clearly Rasha had forged, some of the unmarked, unidentified crates that you now know probably carried contraband by Aku. You see some of the bodies of the other crew members. No sign of Hayden, obviously. And you look around, and you remember that if the others have been here, which they're not, this is presumably either just before or when you would have seen the Goliath, the rabid one that attacked you. And you look up to where you presume or think that direction would be, and there is a figure standing there. Except it's not a Goliath this time. It's a woman. A woman you recognize, even from the back, because for the better part of a couple of months, she shared a headspace with you if she's part of the ring.
Esky, calm down.
Nice lady. He just says that while kind of he doesn't walk up.
Yeah, there's no
To the lady,
reaction
just-
to your kind of hearing.
He-
You kind of look, and she's wearing the green dress you saw before. There's a bit more scales kind of leading up her back. Clearly, this is a bit more obviously transformed into the dragon you now know her to be, or at least pretending less so. But she seems transfixed, staring away from you.
And Zug begins to approach. And he says it again.
As you approach,
Nice lady.
you say that, still no response, but your feet kind of crunches, and you look down, and there's trodden in something. It's gross, and it smells, and as you kind of pick your foot up on your shoe, it kind of sticks, and it kind of squelches down. It is whatever you've tripped on, and whatever's kind of around you now, it kind of hits you all at once like a wall of rot, of smell, of vile. You've been to the bad parts of Imon past certain hours when it's kicking out time at the bars, when people are throwing their food out. It is worse than all of these smells mixed together. It's an assault, a vicious assault on the senses that almost kind of, you can almost have to gag a little bit as you can taste it on your tongue.
Like what? It just smells horrid. Like
Yep.
It's like rancid corpses. And does it
Rancid-
smell similar to that like nasty place in the Underdark? The mushroom bit with all
Smells
the...
different. That smell, weirdly, you've never made this distinction for in your head, but that's good rot. This is bad rot. This is bad rancid. That is like the
That's
growth
good
and the
rot,
rot
bad
that
rot.
will lead to new life. It is the smell of mushrooms and nature fermenting, taking its course. This is bad rot, and somehow you make that distinction in your head.
I see. Okay, like looking up, like How far away from the lady is he?
I'd say about 10 feet.
10 feet away from the lady. Well, he continues on trudging
Can
through
you
the
make a
horrid
Constitution
bit.
saving throw for me?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yes.
Oh, that was a bad roll.
Oh no.
Can I use an indomitable?
Sure.
Alright, using an indomitable. To roll even worse, which I don't have to use that roll, so it was 12. Then.
The smell is overpowering. You take a couple of steps, and you're just like, and you throw up. You don't know if you think that this must be a dream or not, but it feels real. It feels as if you just like almost it takes whatever you can to not like fall into this muck thing, and yeah, just vomit pours out of your mouth as you kind of like cough it back up. Your throat is burning, your eyes are watering and on fire, and from that momentary distraction, Baishan has turned round. And you remember her face, one half of it was, she told you, was cursed in some way.
Yeah.
And it was cracked, and you could kind of see bits of it kind of turning into dust and falling away, and there was a yellow eye there. It has now encompassed the entirety of her face, and you can see it kind of pulling down her chest, like into her chest. And as she kind of turned, she almost seemed to try to reach out, and like she sees you vomit and kind of almost goes to reach for your hand. What do you do as she reaches for you?
He offers his hand, extends his hand.
As you kind of lock hands, her grip is incredibly weak, and you almost feel there's like a couple of her fingers disintegrate as you grip hold of them. And as she opens her mouth to try to say something, bile pours out of yellow, green, utterly horrific in terms of smell, just kind of wobs out, and barely you can make out probably one word, which is your own name,
Yeah.
and her kind of gurgling, but she goes, help.
Esky starved of attention, man.
So he just begins to freak out. Like he just begins to freak out.
Well, yeah, so
Like,
you're holding her
just-
hand. That's kind of happened.
she's just like-
There's bile and vomit or whatever, like streaming down her front. You're vomiting. It's like mixing in the bottom. It is a picture of horrific.
Ugh. He just, I don't know. He like just starts freaking out like on the spot. He's like, "Nice lady, what's happening? How can I help?"
Make a wisdom saving.
Oh god, not wisdom. Okay, it's actually better than charisma, although it was only an 8.
Okay, only an 8. With that, Zug, you pass out. We will deal with the
My roll's so
consequences
bad.
next session.
No,
Oh my god.
my rolls are so bad.
We're just solving one problem.
Have another one.
It's the same problem, just continued.
Jamie's just like, you guys can't.
Everything's
campaign.
rotting.
I need to give you more.
Everything's rotting. Everything's upsetting. Everyone we
Yeah.
love dies. Yeah.
Fine. Good and bad rot. Yeah. See you guys next week.
Oh, it's over. Oh,
Oh,
okay.
oh,
That's the
okay.
cliffhanger. Zug's nasty dream.
Oh my god.
As you will wake up in Barnes's house next week. Well, hopefully you will wake up. We'll see.
You wake up in the nine
Excuse me?
hells.
Uh,
You're in Iron Maidens.
AKA
Help.
Bon's house.
Nah.
we wake up. That would be nice.
We're in a
pretty sure we
happy fun
do.
house. You're gonna have some imp breakfasts. Gonna have some pancakes and yogurt. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you everyone for watching.
Thank you for watching.
Little
Little out there.
I hope you guys enjoyed the session. If you did, and you're not part of our D&D community yet, why don't you come on join? We have a Discord community that's full of friendly D&D players, video game fans, general nerdy fun folk. So you're welcome to come check it out. I've put a link in the chat. You can join and leave anytime. There's no pressure to stay. If it's not for you, that's totally cool. We're also on TikTok and Instagram and Twitter at D&D Boyband. If you follow us, we would really appreciate it. This was our 1-year anniversary stream, so we're really excited that we've managed to do an entire year. And we also actually announced last week that we've just released a podcast. So if you want to catch up on old episodes, well, there's one episode on Spotify, which you can find by searching D&D Boyband, spelled the same as our Twitch channel. Otherwise, you'll have to watch the VODs on our YouTube channel. I'm sorry, it takes a while to edit them. But yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in. We will hopefully see you all next week.
Bye.